Will the committee in the future try to move around conferences to where you wouldn't have an SEC logjam on that side of the bracket, or maybe a Big Ten logjam on that side of the bracket?
You say that, but what is the other option? Is if you don't move them around and the SEC or the Big Ten gets hot,
you could have 4 SEC teams.
Maybe 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Or you could have an all-SEC national championship game or all-Big Ten national championship game. You may not be crazy about that one either.
What's the most we've had in the Final Four? 3 teams from one conference?
No, we've never had that. We've had 2.
No, we had the Big East.
The Big East that one time.
Oh, and talking about basketball Final Four. I thought it was college football.
No, I think the Big East and I think the ACC.
Yeah, the Big East had Georgetown, Villanova, and
St. John's.
St. John's, yeah.
In football's Final Four, we've had twice 2 SEC teams and once 1 Big Ten team. 2 Big Ten teams last year. And hard to see us getting 2 SEC or 2 Big Ten this year. But if chaos starts happening, still some possibilities out there when it's all said and done. Some of us projected it would be an all-SEC Big Ten Final Four in football. Still a chance.
Well, it could happen. It's going to need way more chaos than you think is on the horizon here.
No chaos this year. All right. Well, anybody know what the overtime is today? I would imagine it
is Bama and Bourbon.
Bama and Bourbon. Oh. Is that Lance Taylor and Aaron Suttles doing that show?
That is.
Do you remember the whiskey, the bourbon you drank yesterday?
I do. It was Woodford Reserve.
I hear that's a good one.
Good old go-to.
Oh, my goodness. God, I wish I'd have hosted that one. I need a new bottle of Woodford at the house.
I've heard they sell it.
Such a good, it doesn't drink as good as free, man. Free is better.
Free drink good, don't it?
Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
I know it's late. I know you're weary. I know your plans don't include me. Still here we are, both of us lonely, longing for shelter from all that we see. Why should we worry? No one will care, girl. Look at the stars, so far away. We got tonight, who needs tomorrow? We got tonight, babe. Why don't you stay? Deep in my soul, I've been so lonely. All of my hopes fading away. I've longed for love like everyone else does. I'm gonna keep searching after today. So this is girl, I've got it all now. And where we are, babe, what do you say? We've got tonight, who needs tomorrow? We got tonight, babe, why don't you stay? I know it's late, I know you're weary, I know your plans don't include me. Still here we are, both of us lonely, longing for shelter from all that we see. Why should we worry? No one will care, girl. Look at the stars, so far away.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, I come across a story every now and then, and it makes you really think. Because I don't know about you. I'm getting older. I was told this yesterday.
I am too, yes.
I don't know. I know about you, not me.
I went to see our friends at Precision Sports yesterday, by the way.
Right.
How is Dr. Patterson?
He's doing fantastic. We got into a long discussion, and apparently I may not have a back problem. I may have a couch problem. More on that later.
Yeah, you're not as active as you used to be.
Wow.
He was stretching me out at one point. He was like, no, seriously. And I was like, no, seriously, my hamstrings are that tight. But I did x-rays, MRI yesterday. But I had a little time in between treatments and such, and I was just searching the internet, and I came across this story that a Japanese construction. You ever think about time and just where we are in the history of Earth?
Right. Okay.
1776.
A Japanese construction crew, when they were digging up, uncovered 100,000 ancient coins, some as old as 175 BC. The most current coin in the whole haul they brought in was from 1256. I mean, just odd to sit there and think about.
There was currency that far back?
There was currency 175 BC. And how they could figure out. They obviously didn't print 170. The date, time was not a big thing, BC.
There wasn't a U.S. mint?
Yeah, so nobody was printing 175 on it, but 1256.
What are the coins worth?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Oh, they didn't get into that yet.
They take them straight to Coinstar and dump them in.
I mean, but who gets
Publix?
it? Does the construction company? They don't get it. I mean, they're just digging the holes. Whoever owns the land, right?
The workers made a mistake by telling anybody about this.
100%.
Yeah.
They should have been like, okay, everybody come get a handful.
Yeah. All right, let's all talk about this
And
before
actually,
anybody goes
who
to
can actually authenticate this and say, you know what, that is from this civilization?
There's a guy on Pawn Stars that knows a guy.
That's true.
I just so happen to have a friend.
Yeah, and then they got the really slow guy, his son, and the other guy that know everything too.
Yeah, I just thought, man, they had coins in 175. Like somebody in barefoot or sandals dodging. I guess we didn't have dinosaurs in 175. But whatever they were dodging in 175 BC, the Roman Empire, whatever they were dodging. There you go. I thought about it again.
The Roman Empire?
To answer the question, I just thought about the Roman Empire.
And by the way, they're doing a film, the Hannibal version with Denzel Washington.
Really?
Yeah. So that's,
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, what they're putting together. The dude, the screenwriter from Gladiator, is actually putting the screenplay together.
Have you seen the Napoleon movie?
Yeah, it's coming out.
I mean, does that look good to you?
Coming soon, yeah.
Ridley Scott and Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix is an amazing actor. I mean, everything he's in.
You're going to love it, Brown. The director's cut's 4 hours.
No, it's not.
It's going to be the shorter version is going to be in theaters. The director's cut going to be on, I think, Apple.
We discussed it on the air. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't listen to the whole show.
I'm all in on it too. You know, they're doing a Gladiator 2 from what I hear.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I thought it has like time travel or something like.
Well, I heard
ridiculous.
Denzel's in this with Ridley Scott.
Well, I don't want to spoil the ending, but there's one major plot twist there at the end of Gladiator that's going to make it hard to do a sequel.
Lunsford's telling me it's a prequel.
Well, it's got to be.
Well, Maximus was fat before. My God.
Yeah.
He's a big boy now.
By the way, Lunsford says Napoleon has not gotten great reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I like Joaquin Phoenix, and I think he's good in just about everything.
No, he was the best in Gladiators. Commodus.
Phenomenal. I thought he was excellent as Johnny Cash and Walk the Line. I mean, he's a terrific actor. It seemed a bit miscast to me.
Him as Napoleon?
Yeah, I don't know who I'd have gone with. I don't know. It just seemed like a weird casting, but he is so good.
I don't think visually or.
I don't know. It just struck me as odd when I saw the first trailer that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be playing
I
Napoleon.
think he's a good Napoleon.
I don't know.
Napoleon wasn't as short as he was billed to be. He's like 5'10", right?
Yeah, it wasn't
No, he
really
was like 5'7", 5'8", but people build him like to be like 4'2".
It wasn't about the height.
5'7", 5'8".
It's not about the height. I don't know what it was. It just struck me as odd that he was cast as Napoleon. But there again, Valkyrie is one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, and the whole reason I never watched it was like, there is no way Tom Cruise can play a Nazi general or Nazi whatever.
But Joaquin seems like one of those guys that is so conniving and such a prick. I mean, he seems like a perfect Napoleon to me.
Yeah.
This is disappointing. It's got bad reviews.
And that's what that guy says. He says Phoenix plays unhinged really good.
Joker. Yeah, I mean, he is completely unhinged.
That's one of those movies that was the whole movie I was uncomfortable.
Isn't that what got Napoleon? Was syphilis? Syphilis?
No.
He became crazy
Columbus.
at the end? That was Chris Columbus?
I think he got exiled twice. I know that. I think he did have some issues.
And Al Capone.
Yeah.
Let's Jim,
and Jack the Ripper.
Let's go to
Syphilis
calls
got a
now.
lot of people back in the day.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was PP, pre-penicillin.
Yeah, and I guess PT, pre-children.
Speaking of
Jack the Ripper doesn't seem like somebody that would have responsible sex.
I don't think he was thinking that.
I only have one rule. I wrap it.
Before I gut you twice.
Jack the Zipper, am I right?
Yeah.
According, he had a personal physician, Napoleon did, according to Wikipedia.
That's a shock.
He warned the English government that the declining state of health of Napoleon was caused by harsh treatment because he was in prison, if you remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stomach cancer is what I'm being
Yeah,
told.
he confined himself for months in a damp, mold-infested, and wretched habitation of a prison.
Oh, thank you.
Does not sound great.
Yeah, how did he get to that point?
He was only 51 when he died.
That's a hard 51.
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
think
good
he
ride back
realizes.
then.
Yeah, I think the average lifespan was like 34. What year was that?
1821.
Yeah.
That's how all these coins got on the ground that we started the story off with. People just died at 51. They dropped their loose change all over the dirt roads back in 175 BC. 51's a good run back then.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a Bob Marley biopic, too. I saw that when I went to Killers of the Flower Moon.
What are they calling it? Three Little Birds?
I don't know.
It's a good title, Three Little Birds.
But,
Kevin Hart.
didn't he die? He got shot in a robbery.
He got infected.
Yeah, it got infected his toe or something, right?
Yeah.
He was a soccer player too.
Yeah, I thought he had skin cancer in the toe.
I don't. No, there was an assassination attempt on him, but I think he had something a toe that got infected. I don't know how it initially happened, but yeah.
Lunsford, why he's with us today. In fact, checking Bob Marley. You got Bob Marley, cause of death?
Well,
I thought it was. It's called One Love. That's a better title than Three Little Birds. Thank you.
So Napoleon, there's some debate. Some say it is stomach cancer, but there's debates on other stuff. But what is not debated about Napoleon is that when he died, they cut out his heart and his intestines, and they put them in a sealed vessel and placed them in the casket with him. Boy, if that's open casket, that's going to be a lot to see right there.
That's going to be smell, too.
Well,
Yeah.
they take out, when they embalm us nowadays, they take out the insides, right?
Well, I don't think they bury it with us, so that was
Yeah.
weird that they would have done that. Yeah.
Was that like an FU?
I don't know what that was, Lance. That was weird is what it was.
They didn't want him coming back.
No.
Little fella.
He hasn't.
Little fella there. All right, jump into the sports headlines. LT mentioned Trojans. We do have rivalry football this weekend. UCLA and USC will jump into right after LT tells us about Gutter Cap.
205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. Our man, Chris Stewart, he's been in business for more than 2 decades. He will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. They'll clean the gutters one final time. They'll put that patented aluminum panel cover system. It fits over most existing gutters. It will keep all debris out. You will keep those gutters clean and free flowing. You'll never have to clean the gutters again. It's a dirty, dangerous job. Make the phone call today, 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Just clean up some dead wood. Lunsford confirming malignant melanoma under the right great toe. Is the great toe the second toe, not the big toe?
I think it's the big toe.
No,
I think the
it's-
great toe is the second one.
Yeah, the
It's
only toe
longer
you
than the
can-
first one.
Lunsford.
You can operate without any toe except the big toe.
Right.
Yeah, like the big toe's gone, you got no balance.
Well, which one does Prime miss? What is he missing?
I think he's missing half his foot.
Yeah, he is. But does he have the big toe?
I don't. So my old man, when he passed away, he looked like a ninja because he had gotten half that foot taken off too.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach says the heart thing was the symbolic of the Catholic Church that he spurned, declaring himself the Holy Roman Emperor.
Oh, so the church made him carve out his heart and his intestines and bury it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
So the Holy Roman Emperor
You
died
know,
in prison.
I guess the church at that
That
time
doesn't seem very holy, does it?
Yeah, I guess they missed the old forgiveness part of the New Testament. Yeah.
Are they Old Testament
I
things?
guess they were super Old Testament there in the Roman Catholic Church.
Very strict, very
Yeah.
strict. Okay, USC this weekend and UCLA. Last weekend, we had Jimbo Fisher and Zach Arnett both lose their jobs after the same game. 2 guys that would not be back with their programs. This weekend, Chip Kelly may be coaching his last game for UCLA. And I don't know if folks know this. It's the end of the regular season for USC. I know
Yeah.
LT knows it, but the folks may not know it. They have a bye week in the final week, so this very well could be Caleb
It
Williams'
is.
final game for USC.
Yeah, I think it will be Caleb Williams' final game because, look, I think they're going to win this game. I think they go to 8-4, and they're going to be in some mid-tier bowl. And
the
look,
Emerald Almonds sun-dried raisin
people
bowl.
have brought this up with both Will Anderson and Bryce Young playing in the bowl game against Kansas State. There just feels something different about this. I don't think Caleb Williams, he's getting different advice from different people. And I don't think there's any way he plays in the bowl game. I think this will be the last time we see him in a USC uniform.
And I don't think Bryce Young needed the Sugar Bowl. Obviously, he was going to be the number 1 pick, or at least in consideration for it. I don't think any NFL scout needs to see Caleb Williams play whatever mid-tier team they're going to play in a mid-tier bowl game. So I'm perfectly fine with him shutting it down after this. I hate it. Caleb Williams has been a great college football player. I don't want to see him go, but I can't wait to see him in the NFL. In a lot of ways, and it is not his fault at all, as great as he has personally been, there is a little bit of a void on his resume.
Oh, there is.
Not at all his fault. He's done everything he can to eliminate that void.
So they've lost 4 or 5, and I was sitting at Odie's before trivia last night, and they've got a tomato cheese tortellini soup.
Ooh.
And I did a
Where's
grilled
that?
cheese on the side at Odie's.
Okay.
And I was talking to Alex, one of the bartenders, and he's like, I just don't understand this Caleb Williams stuff. Like, I would take Jaden Daniels. If he's a Packers fan, I would rather have Jaden Daniels. And I'm like, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be fantastic in the NFL. I think he's going to be a more accurate Lamar Jackson. But I still would take Caleb Williams, and he's like, what good defense has he dominated? And I was like, you got a point there. We've gone through it before. There really isn't. Now, his offensive line's been horrible, but you can only blame so much of that on the offensive line.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Back to your resume, I mean, Drake May is about to leave North Carolina with nothing to prove for that.
He is, but I don't expect that out of a North Carolina quarterback.
Right.
I mean, Caleb Williams played at Oklahoma and USC. Those are programs that can win championships.
But
And
here's
again,
the thing.
it's not his fault. It's his head coach's
Jaden
fault.
Daniels has slayed really good defenses.
That's it. Absolutely has. I mean,
Right.
go ask Alabama's defense, who you'd say Alabama's defense is pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's elite.
Yeah, they had their hands full with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Bryce Young, I mean, he left with an SEC championship. I mean, by Alabama standards, he didn't leave with a lot in his trophy room
But also
either.
quarterbacked in a national championship game. He at least got there.
Yeah.
And he was the reason his team got there.
Oh, I think when we look back on this, if Caleb Williams does turn out to be the quarterback a lot of people believe at the next level, you're going to look back and be like, what the hell happened at USC? Because you go 11-1 that first year, and then the bottom completely falls out. On the other side of the coin, UCLA is going to be fighting for Chip Kelly's job. And I talked to Tom Luganbill yesterday on Spittin' Lugs, and he's like me. I think Chip Kelly's done a pretty good job with not a lot of resources.
Well, let me ask you. I'm driving in this morning, and I got
big
Dusty,
wheel.
got Dusty and Danny on Sirius XM. Yeah, got Dusty and Danny on Sirius XM. Driving the school bus in this morning.
You 9-3, you don't do 10-2?
Yeah. Well, that's that big steering wheel he's got.
No, I'm usually this.
Yeah.
Or this. Tommy Lee, you let it steer it.
Nobody's on the road at 5:30, so it's
That's
easy
true.
to do
It
that.
really is a straight shot.
Did we get an early picture today from
we
the
did,
studio?
Lance. We did. Yep.
Dunaway was here early, everybody.
That was a funny. That was
I
a
know
ha-ha
you did.
moment.
You did the laughy
That
face
was a
with
ha-ha moment off of last week. But they got a caller that said, I live here in Texas, and Chip Kelly, I would love to have him at Texas A&M. And they instantly said, there's no way they're going to hire at Texas A&M with all their money a guy who's getting fired at UCLA or is on the hot seat at UCLA. Just not going to do that. But I mean, probably nuts and bolts. Chip Kelly probably would do a better job at Texas A&M, than Jimbo did, and probably than he was able to do at UCLA. I mean, to me, more resources at Texas A&M and better chance of recruiting at Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A&M's not going to take him. If I was Mississippi State, though, I know there's some good
He
young
won't go to
coaches out there. I know he would be a weird fit there, but I'm just saying.
he wouldn't go there.
Oh, you don't think so?
Oh, it'd be beneath him.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's an SEC job. He's never tried in the SEC.
Yeah, he's probably arrogant enough to think he can come in and do it.
I think culturally, we saw Joe Moorhead was square peg. I think it would be even worse for Chip Kelly. We've heard that Chip Kelly likes to be anonymous, and a market like L.A. is more his speed.
I can see that.
He's got a ton of money. I don't know what his commitment to football is. I don't know if he's just one of these guys that can't live without football.
He since he got his NFL money, he did not come back with UCLA with the same fire that I thought he would come back and try to prove himself wrong. But remember what I would tell you when I went to those practices out in Oregon? Laid back, had the was it, the freaking Lion King playing in the back? What was playing in the background?
Yeah, I think it was the Lion King.
Yeah,
said.
and I was like, this is
it was that Elton John song from the Lion King. What is it?
Circle of Life?
Circle of Life.
Yeah, it was Circle of Life.
Yeah.
Well, and I was like, this is the second weirdest music moment in my college.
Where's my
history.
DMX? If I'm a 19-year-old, I don't need this.
I'm out here with the hills of Arizona out there in the desert, and the team's stretching at a practice, and they got the Circle of Life on the PA system.
If you're a UCLA fan, do you want new blood going to the Big Ten?
Yes.
I'm not going to say, because you go back to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he had a 4-year starting quarterback, and they got better by wins every year.
But how much of that was quarterback?
Well,
because he's starting this weekend for the Browns, and I mean, they gave up so much for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson will get his job back next year, but I think by the time they're done with DTR this year, they will be thinking about, do I really want Deshaun Watson back? I think DTR is about to get this Browns team going.
Yeah, I think with DTR this year, let's just say that he would have had a 6th year. I think they beat Utah. I think, just looking at their schedule, they got 4 losses. I don't know if they beat Oregon State. I think they beat Arizona State. I mean, I think they're a 2-loss team right now.
My question for Chip Kelly would be, if I were going to hire him at A&M or State or anything, is he not being successful because of what you said?
The fire or the fact that
he's lost the fire?
Is he not everybody else is doing
he not
his
being
thing?
Successful because he refuses to change the way he does things?
Yeah.
Like, Coach, it worked a decade ago, but you got to keep up. He's like, no, this is my system. I am not changing for anything.
Okay, well, if both of those, either one of those is true, if either one is a question, then I'm running the other way.
I agree 100% with you, Lance. But now if it's something else, maybe we got something, right? If it is resources, if it is, whatever, I don't know what it would be.
Happy birthday, Chip Kelly. Next week will be 60. So
he's only 60?
That's Coach Delight.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's young.
But State hired Ben Howland. It would feel like that hire a little bit, wouldn't it?
It would.
And I don't just say that because of the UCLA thing. I'm just saying, like, Ben Howland had had some success, but he was in a situation where not a lot of people were going to take a shot at him.
Royal Payne brings up a great point. UCLA, where are they in the NIL?
Oh, they're not.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is there's not a commitment to football at UCLA.
I think you would probably do better in NIL at State. Now, I don't think State's going to break the bank in comparison to the rest of the conference. I think it'd do better in UCLA, though.
Yeah, struggling compared to the rest of the conference. Ashley, is Chip really good, or does Oregon just always have solid talent?
That's what I brought up yesterday. Does Oregon make the coach, or does the coach make Oregon? I think we've got some – I think we've got a trend that tells us Oregon makes the coach.
Yeah. Hey, that's your boy Dan Lanning. You want in Tuscaloosa?
I know. That does make me worry.
I'm not saying Chip Kelly's elite. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah. By the way, as my buddy Rick pointed out yesterday, I didn't get to it yesterday, but he is like, you guys rave about Dan Lanning. He has basically a NFL-aged, experienced quarterback that's helped him get any of his success out there.
It is true, but he also, you have to admit, is getting better play out of that quarterback than anybody else ever has.
Yeah,
is that just because he got older, or is it because Dan Lanning is coached?
And that quarterback's not asked to do a ton.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham helped him in the first year, and he's doing pretty good right now. Landmine believer, UCLA should go after Chris Peterson. I don't think Peterson's ever coming back.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, he's only 59 years old. I mean, if he wants to come back, he can kind of pick his job.
He's only 59?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to believe he's younger than Chip Kelly.
Man,
I'll tell you this.
Those guys do not age out west.
The last Pac-12 team we've seen in the college football playoff, 2016, Washington, Chris Peterson.
Yep.
If A&M wanted to make a splash higher, I think Chris Peterson could do big things at A&M.
Yeah. All right. One more thing to get to in our opening segment here. But first, let me tell you about the man who's always on our roof this time of year, and I'm not talking Santa. I'm talking about Greg from Pell City, Greg Nelson right there. Storm Restoration Roofing. A free, no-cost roof inspection. Free, no-cost roof inspection. Listen, after the summers we have around here, it pays to get that roof inspected. But how about this? How about if you don't have to pay for that roof inspection? That's what you get with Storm Restoration Roofing. Just call this number, 205-542-3531. 542-3531 for a free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau's. Insurance companies trust him. You can also look him up on Facebook. Greg from Pell City. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. All right, before we get to Roman Harper coming up in our next segment, I did want to tell you one other thing that happened last night. James Madison did not get their waiver request granted. 10-0, number 18 in the AP poll, can't be ranked in the college football playoff rankings because they're not eligible. They said we're obviously disappointed about the outcome there. Game day's there this weekend. There'll be a lot of talk about this, but the NCAA denied the waiver.
I'm not shocked, Brown,
Yeah.
but I think this could have been goodwill for the NCAA when you're going through all this hardball stuff. I said it last week. I think it's a stupid rule to begin with. I know they're saying, hey, look, if we grant this and we're setting precedent, well, who cares?
Yeah.
If you're now an FBS member, let it roll. And I heard somebody this morning talking about, well, the Sun Belt said it was okay. Well, hell yeah, the Sun Belt said it was okay because they were getting a New Year's Six check.
No doubt.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want it as much as anybody.
Yeah. This rule should be, Brown, if you're an upper division going down, you should have to wait.
No
you
doubt.
should have to wait.
And I don't know if that's the same. You never see that happen.
But
really.
going up,
yeah,
you
I
shouldn't
agree.
have to wait. Shame on us for letting you win.
And I'm wondering if this is a sign that this is not going to get overturned in the offseason. Because if the NCAA had maybe flown the flag, run the flag up the pole with whoever has to vote on this stuff and like, hey, look, we're going to address this in the offseason. How you leaning? And if they're like, this is a dumb rule, let's get rid of it. You would think they would just go ahead and grant it now.
They would grant it, yeah.
And then they overturn the rule in the offseason. So this tells me the rule probably isn't getting overturned.
Yeah.
Rule makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's shame on all of us for letting you come up from that level and beat
win.
us
That's
for
right.
2 years.
You ought to be better than Jack State. You ought to be better than
That's
James
right.
Madison. That's on you.
That's right.
And I don't it's not really going to hurt Jack State, I don't think, that much, because I still think they've got a good shot at getting a bowl game because there's not going to be enough bowl-eligible teams, I don't think.
And JMU will get one, too.
They
just
will,
not
but this
the
kills,
one.
this kills them in terms of the New Year's Six. It was a much bigger deal for them than the other schools.
And in recruiting right now, they'd see themselves 18 to 20 on every Tuesday night
That's
in
right.
the college football playoff rankings. That would help them in recruiting, too. Good deal there at James Madison. Tough break from the NCAA. Roman Harper. Where in the world is Roman Harper? Quick guesses around the table before we go to Way to Wellness here. What do you have?
It's going to be the car. I would say an 85% chance he is in the car.
Car for you.
I think he's in the car waiting to go into a breakfast meeting. So he's in a parking lot park.
I'm going to go back to an old favorite and say barbershop.
I'm going to say that he is walking somewhere, one place to another. Could be from his bedroom to his living room. Could be from his car to the airport. Could be his car to the... He's going to be walking when he first appears.
I'll change mine. He's going to be felling a tree.
Oh, really?
Our friends at Way to Wellness.
Posing for a portrait.
Our friends at Way to Wellness will help you get in shape in 2024. Jumpstart that weight loss with Leslie and her board-certified team. Just go to the website, aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. There you'll find out that Way to Wellness has a many different, in fact, not one exactly right plan. Everything's designed specifically for you to help with weight loss, maybe control your blood pressure or your cholesterol numbers. You can do that through your diet as well, or, of course, you can just start looking better when it comes to swimsuit season again. Leslie, her board-certified team will take care of you. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and the first consultation is free. The website, again, is aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Stop unwanted guests. Save $50 from our friends at Wayne's right now. Call 866-WAYNES-1 this holiday season. Give the gift of peace and security to your home and family with a $50 off recurring Wayne's Pest Control services. Keep your celebrations joyful and free of unwanted critters this holiday and beyond. At Wayne's Pest Control, we don't just promise short-term fixes. We promise year-round protection for your home, keeping your family, children, and pets safe. Again, call 866-WAYNES-1 today. That's 866-WAYNES-1.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Hey, our show being brought to you in part by Hemp Hill. They bring you Lance's Lock every day. Oh, we have a winner. It's Brown. Lance'sLock.com. Lance'sLock.com. Brought to you by Hemp Hill before we get to our buddy Roman Harper.
Yeah, make sure you call the fine folks at Hemp Hill Services, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Mention the Next Round. They're going to hook you up $69 fall tune-up. You got to make sure that unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Harp, before we start, just be honest with us. Did you let Brant, we wager now on where you're going to be every week. Did you let Ryan Brown know you were going to be in a barber chair? Did you let him know somehow?
No, I didn't. I literally just I just saw the text message. My phone had kind of cut off. So I'd actually totally forgot what time it was. We're actually looking at it for a little bit undisputed. But no, I didn't know Ryan. I mean, good guess, Ryan. He knows.
I know my guy. I know my guy.
Guys.
Rockstar guessed you were cutting a tree down.
Lifestyle.
Rockstar guessed you were cutting a tree down. So,
yeah.
Have you ever had a haircut that you regret as a kid growing up?
Yeah, when my parents were doing it.
What would they do to it?
My mom used to cut my hair, and it just was not it, guys. It wasn't the look I was going for. So I just begged it, like, I got to just go to a regular barber. And I mean, I've been going to a regular barber ever since. So I got a barber in like my hometown that I would still go to till this day. I got my guy here at TAP here in Charlotte. And then I got a guy in LA that I go to, and I got a guy in New Orleans, which is like all my major cities, all check. So I'm good.
Harp's got more barbers.
You just can't let anybody cut your hair. You can't just let anybody cut your hair.
A barber in every port. It's the American dream there. Hey, tell me you've seen Tua. Tua's rocking some new
he's got cornrows.
New dreads,
he's got cornrows.
He's got going on right now, and people are saying he looks like Drake. And I was like, I don't know, he looks like Drake. I just know his hair is jacked.
I have not seen Tua with braids.
Yeah,
I got to see this. I got to look this up.
He had him on yesterday.
I hadn't seen it.
You
seen Tua with Tua? I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're all shocked.
It seems like a weird look for Tua.
Yeah, I'll text you. I've got, of course, as a Dolphins fan, I got a photo on my phone. I'll text it to you as soon as we're done here so you can show the guys. You guys are on your way to Knoxville. Fascinating game. And this is going to be weird rationale. I'm going to accept it up front. And I need to tell people, we started this weird. Harp is presented by MyBookie.ag, code next round. To get that sign-on bonus 50% match up to $1,000 when you make your initial deposit using code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND, Harp on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Weird rationale on my part. This is weird logic. But I almost feel better about Tennessee. I don't think they're going to win it, but I almost feel better about them playing Georgia close after the way the Missouri game went than had they gone and beaten Missouri.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard for me to back this up. It's just it's a weird feeling.
I kind of agree with Brown.
Lance kind of agrees. It's just a weird feeling. Yeah.
I don't. I think Brown's good predictions ended with you in a barber chair.
Look, guys, so I'll just be honest with you. I saw Tennessee play Missouri last week, and I thought that was the worst defensive game plan I've seen in years. I think it was bad. I don't know why they decided to do what they were doing. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. And then you throw on top of it that Tennessee has not been explosive in the pass game all year long. They really struggle doing those little things. And you're not going to just line up and run the ball versus Georgia. So it's a lot of negatives in Tennessee's corner. Now, if I want to look on the bright side, how do they keep this thing close? I think it has to go to more quarterback design runs. Georgia has been susceptible to some of those things. And so if they can try to manage to make some explosive plays with using Joe Milton's legs, not always his arm, then that softens them up, and then you can do some other things to keep the game close. And then if you can force a turnover too, which Georgia really hasn't done, they haven't turned the ball over that much. So it's a lot of ifs and buts, but like that is the way that Tennessee keeps this game close and has a chance in the fourth quarter. If they don't, then it's probably going to be ugly. I don't think it's as ugly as it was last week versus Ole Miss, which I didn't think Ole Miss had a chance at all. But because Tennessee's defense should be a little bit better, but I can't guarantee anything after what I saw Tennessee do last week.
Harp, let me preface this by saying I love me some Stetson Bennett at Georgia. I thought the kid got better. I thought he was a competitor. I thought he ultimately ended up being a really good quarterback. But Carson Beck is much better.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy because we're going to look up and the mailman, Stetson Bennett may go down as like Georgia's like best all-time quarterback. And has nothing to do with talent. But because he won 2 championships, he can kind of be in that conversation, guys. And Carson Beck is the most talented quarterback that I've seen Georgia have since Matthew Stafford, as far as arm strength is concerned, the fact that he takes care of the football, the throws that I see him make on a week-to-week basis. It's like nobody else is doing these things. And so I'm giving him a lot of credit because this is a throwing team. They're not just this physical dominating run team. They are throwing the football off the bus, and that is how their offense is being so dynamic. It's through the air and getting their weapons space, the ball in space, and letting them do what they do.
If this was a Tarantino movie, he'd take that straight razor and just cut you ear to ear right across the throat.
Hey, Chap, they said if this is a Tarantino movie, you just cut my neck from ear to ear with that razor. Well, too bad he has his barber license, guys, and you can't do that. I've actually been there, and I've heard the training procedures if you do cut somebody.
I see his arm tats. I bet he could cut you ear to ear.
Hey, how much will we have to tip him out to put one of those lightning bolts in the side of your cut right there? What would that cost us?
So I tried to do a part not too long ago, and growing up, I had parts in my head. I would do some different designs, and now with this black and silver, it don't show the same. It's like we tried it. We tried it like the other summer in the off season, and we like, nah, bro, it ain't it. It's okay. We tried it though. Am I right, Ty? Yeah, in fact, we did. We tried it. We did try it, and it was just like, it's not popping off enough. You got to have all black to be able to see the lines good. When I got this silver and white, you just put a little line in there. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you just missing some hair right there. It's not it.
For the right amount of money, though, would you Emmitt Smith it up and do what's it called, something for men and get your hair colored?
Just for men? Tillman tried to do, I would not do just for men because Peanut Tillman tried to raise him money. He did it my last playing year. Not in 15 he did it. It was up to $8 or $9 grand for me to dye my hair for a week. And I was like, no.
Yeah, not for 8 or 9
and
grand.
8 or 9 grand. Yeah, 8 or 9 grand still ain't it for me. So I know it's a lot of money, but that ain't it. That ain't.
Hey, Harp, let me ask you this. So we were talking about Caleb Williams. This is going to be his last game. We probably see him in a USC uniform. But I was having a discussion with a bartender last night, and he's like, I would take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. And I think Jaden Daniels is obviously having a better season. I think Jaden Daniels is the best player in college football right now. How good and you played high level both, how good of an NFL quarterback do you think Jaden Daniels will be?
You know what? For me, it's going to be about him being able to continue to learn how to throw with anticipation. And not always just creating with your legs. At times versus Alabama, his best plays were when he was running the football. It wasn't him threading the needle, throwing in tight windows, getting to that back foot, and already firing that ball out. Sometimes Jaden Daniels has this clock in his head where he gets back there, it gets to 3, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. He's got to go somewhere, right? And so not always staying in the pocket and continue to create, continue to find. Because you can be fast, and he is a special athlete. He's special with the ball in his hand, but dude, that ain't gonna work on Sundays. Everybody's fast, and everybody hits hard. And so you just don't see quarterbacks that are just really great athletes make it long-term in the NFL. And so I'm not trying to be, can Jaden Daniels be a splash or a flash in the pan type guy? I want him to have a real career. And, like, that's what I root for all these players, to have a career, to play 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, to stay around, to have longevity in the league. That's what really separates you. It's not about getting drafted first. It's about the longevity, like having a real career. And so if he's going to do that, then he has to continue to fine-tune those things. Right now, Caleb Williams is ahead of him in those terms. But as far as just being a great athlete and just what he's been able to accomplish this year at LSU, you got to give him all the credit in the world. And I think he's benefited from a terrible LSU defense.
Yeah. By the way, I don't feel like Tap's done anything in 5 minutes except put on a show for us. I don't think he's cut anything, dusted anything off.
Yeah, they're like, we don't think your boy Tap has done anything in 5 minutes. He's putting on the show for us. They can't tell you. They can't.
What's my guy? What's my guy behind you doing? These two guys have just hung out behind you the whole time. What's their job?
It's like the Ball twins.
So they are students. So my man Tap, this is his barbershop academy. He's got his own school now, and so during the week when he's not cutting at his shop, he's got multiple shops around the city. But he comes to the school. He's got mostly students. Premier Barber and Grooming. Premier Barber and Grooming Academy. So that's where we're at right now. So we got some students here. They've been here a while, man. So they're all getting close to graduate. So we have another class come through. So
our man Tap giving back, man. I love it. Yeah.
Hey, tell them to if they want to hang around another year, they get a COVID year. Nobody has to graduate yet. They can hang around another year.
All right, Harp. Enjoy Knoxville, man. We'll see you next week. Earlier in the week, for those that love Harp's segment, he's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday because of Thanksgiving next week. We'll let you know as soon as we can on that. Harp, thank you, man. Safe travels.
I appreciate it, fellas. Thanks as always, man. Hey, y'all let me know about next week, too.
Yep, I will, buddy. I'll text you. I'll let you know.
I love that fake-ass brush he keeps using. That fake, he's not even touching skin. He's just waving it.
Oh, my man Tab gets after it. Hey, Harp is presented each week by MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. When you sign on and make that deposit, they do a 50% match up to $1,000 when you use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
I think we need to get Taylor to check out. There are YouTube channels for everything. Maybe we start a new Next Round YouTube channel where you just watch people get cuts. Haircuts. It's just a tight,
little fascinating.
set camera. Because I looked over at Brown one time. He was mesmerized. He was just kicked back. Yeah. It was almost like watching rain hit the windowsill.
Really? Yeah, I was.
Well, it's really interesting to see somebody get their head literally shaved bald, if they have growth and everything, how they do it.
I think what incredible. It is, it's the hum. You're used to sitting in that chair, so that noise makes you relaxed. Yeah. I don't know if you guys get that feeling when you get your neck shaved or whatever.
When Roney pulls out that straight blade and he starts going on my neck right there, I love it.
It's perfect.
And they put that little cool powder on it. What's that called?
Talcum.
That's old school.
Have you guys ever had a real straight razor shave?
I have
one time.
We used to have a sponsor. You'll remember this back on Jocks that did this high-end men's barbershop.
Yeah, so I had a membership there.
Yeah.
And so for about 6 months, I would go, and about every other week, I would get a straight razor shave. It was awesome.
He did it once to me, though, man, and it tore me up. I got that, I got that never has worked hard in my life skin. Not what you normally get out of Calhoun County. Normally get that tough skin out of Calhoun County. I was a cement baby.
Same with me. I walked out of there with some nicks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mine burned, man.
I had pimply face too. Pimply face. I still get a pimple every now and then.
Yeah, you got to get the right somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
when they towel it.
That might have been the issue.
Yeah, I went to the same place you did.
Well, they had a lot of people.
Yeah, they did. They had a lot of turnover. That's why they're not in business anymore.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. I was afraid my guy was going to cut me ear to ear.
Of course you were.
That's another way.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to shave me or kill me.
I was getting the MRI yesterday, and she's like, here, you squeeze this ball if you start to panic, if you get claustrophobic and stuff. I said, I am not going to panic.
They said that's a done away.
Well, they also say if you do, we have to start all over.
Oh, yeah, and she says, and don't move. And so when it was over with, I said, how did I do? Did I move? And she goes, you jerked one time, but it was no big deal. You didn't jerk that bad. You basically look like you were asleep. And I said, I was.
Yeah, the worst thing about those is that noise in there.
Yeah, well, I had earbuds.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had earbuds. I was listening to a little Zach Bryan. Take me down the road.
And then other lyrics follow.
Hey, on the Tennessee-Georgia game, I don't see what you're seeing. Last week,
it doesn't make sense.
The Schrader kid went 205 and 116 receiving. So over 300 total yards last week. Jace McClellan ran on him for 115.
Yep. It does not make sense. I told you.
ETN ran on him for 172. Let me introduce you to Georgia. This is Milton.
Yep.
This is Edwards.
They love
the
to run it.
1-2 punch, Brownie.
No. And I, for the record, am not saying Tennessee wins this game. I still think Georgia wins.
I think it will be an interesting game
I
into the
think
fourth
it'll be
quarter.
an interesting game.
Blow out mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. Blow out. They cannot.
Do you have any funds left in your account?
I hit last night.
The Suns won?
Did anybody not stay up and watch Arizona drop 133?
You said you had the Suns.
The Suns, yeah.
You said Arizona. Oh, Phoenix?
Phoenix,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you meant Arizona men's
Yeah.
basketball. I was like, you made another play?
The Suns dropped 133
No,
on the tired Timberwolves back-to-backs.
Yeah, coming
That's
off a
where you
fight.
everybody knows you make your money in the
Now, here's the
NBA
thing.
on betting against the back-to-backs.
Georgia heard about Missouri. Hey, watch out for this team. They've only got one loss. They heard about Ole Miss, top 10 team. Can they continue to get up for these games? And this is going to be by far the most hostile environment outside of Jordan Hare that they played in front of.
I'm just telling you, closer. I'm going course on you. Closer than the experts.
The
think.
experts think 10.5, and I don't think it's going to be closer than 10.
Closer than the experts think.
I'll go stake right now. I'll give you a bonus point, 11.5. I'll take Georgia and give you 11.5 for a stake. Whew, it's so easy these days. Georgia, they're a machine. It's like guards versus
You do know
prisoners.
he's reversed landmine this whole week. He keeps saying how there's going to be no chaos.
I do not want Georgia to lose.
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing.
I want them to be unbeaten. I want them to be the unbeatable force when Alabama plays them in the SEC
You will be
championship.
pulling so hard for Iowa State and Oregon State on Saturday night.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I mean that's not Georgia.
I know, but I'm saying you want chaos.
Oh, yes. I'd love to see Oregon and Washington and Texas out of the way. Yeah, to let that big bus drive right into the playoffs one more time. All right, thank you, Pritchlaw. Good bet by me right there.
All right,
by the way, so was the Suns last night. I got cash to play with. In fact, I've made not one brownie,
Oh, I'm stunned at this.
not two,
Uh-huh.
but 3 plays for tonight already.
In a parlay?
One of them is a parlay, Brown.
He's so predictable, isn't he?
I'll tell you what they are when we come back after Brownie tells us about Johnston RV.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. I'll tell you what is not a gamble is dealing with Johnston RV, Dunaway. That is a sure thing. Not a gamble at all. They just came back from the Forest River Expo, and that's where they go and find all the new floor plans, and they find out all the things that they think their customers will like.
Plan.
New floor plan right here. Send it to Johnston RV. But when they do that, they got to clear out room for them. So you're going to get a great deal because of that. The Call of Fall campaign going on right now at Johnston RV.
Get that floor plan out of here.
It allows you to save like fifth wheels, discounted more than $50,000. Travel trailers starting at $179 a month with approved credit. And don't forget the lifetime warranty on everything that is new and under 2 years of age from RV Warranty Forever at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Dunaway gets you rich next. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Spittin' Lugs with ESPN's Tom Luganville and Lance Taylor weekly at Disrupt the Media on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Legendary comedian James Gregory back at the Comedy Club Stardome coming up this weekend. One show Friday and a matinee show on Saturday at 4 and one at 6:30. Stardome.com for more information. He is one of the greatest, cleanest comics of all time. Storytelling at its finest. For decades, the unforgettable character of veteran comedian James Gregory has stood grinning, his shirt untucked, his arms outstretched. Carefree welcome to down-home hilarious comedy experience. Again, 444-0008 or stardome.com. It's James Gregory.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to The Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. NextRound.store. That's NextRound.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with Walk-Ons. The Next Round golf card is back and it's presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Card for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Okay, this is odd. WWE and the Big 12 Conference are nearing an agreement which would allow WWE to produce licensed Big 12 merchandise focused around the upcoming college football bowl season.
That's weird.
Another big step in the sports world for WWE. So they're going to produce Big 12 stuff for the upcoming bowl season. By the way, Big 12 and wrestling, very popular. Oklahoma State, according to Brandon Marcella, is where Roddy Piper went to school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know OJR is a big Oklahoma guy. He's come on the show before and talked about Oklahoma.
About to be an SEC school.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, interesting right there. Speaking of wrestling, I tell you all the time about 23 NCAA Division II fully scholarship sports. Where, Brownie?
Montevallo, they got wrestling?
University of Montevallo debuted their wrestling program last night.
What program? Wait, what program?
Wrestling.
That's not what you said.
There was a hard essay in there.
Yeah, there was the wrestling program.
The wrestling
it's like
program.
your grandmother's running it.
Yeah, there was wrestling last night at Montevallo in front of 1,900 fans on the Montevallo campus as they wrestled last night. Opened up by Thompson's big wrestling program. Did a high school match leading in, and then the Montevallo folks went out and won their wrestling match. And some kid, if I could see his name on my sheet here, God, where is it? He won. Whoever it was, he won the opener there for Montevallo's first ever event there at home.
Randy Savage.
It was not Randy
Celebrated
Savage.
a birthday today or yesterday?
Macho Man?
Yeah, well, I mean,
he didn't celebrate it.
Yes.
He did not celebrate it, no. Yep. Anyway, Montevallo won their wrestling match yesterday. And Montevallo's got a great place to go to school. Montevallo.edu, Montevallo.edu. You can schedule an in-person tour, find out great things. Oh, look at the crowd there.
Holy crap. That's the crowd at Montevallo?
Yeah, that's the first ever wrestling match there at Montevallo yesterday. How historic was that moment?
Yeah, that's cool.
1,900 right there in the Dunaway Memorial Gymnasium.
Bracket challenge, a singlet from Montevallo if you lose.
We can get one now.
Interesting.
Yep.
And you'll start weight training by then after Dr. Patterson told you need to get off the couch, right?
Yeah, I will. Oh, God, the shape I'll be in next summer. Mm-hmm. We need to decide which day of the week is shirtless Thursdays.
Jim will wear the singlet by choice.
Hey, if we have shirtless Thursdays, you and I are switching seats, Brown.
Anyway, University of Montevallo, Montevallo.edu. Congratulations to the wrestlers there last night. And I apologize. The trivia question, I lost who the first win ever was. He got a big win last night. That one's on me.
Jim Duggan, Hacksaw.
That one's on me, guys. That one's on me. All right. Gambling. I've just found out. Not one parlay, Brown. I've got 2 today at mybookie.ag.
Okay, so what are your 2 parlays?
Well,
let's get Lance's thoughts.
Yeah, hey, by the way, when you run out of money, which I think will be after tonight, I'm open.
No, if I lose,
No juice.
If I lose everything,
Maggie doesn't have to know about it.
I still got a little left for the weekend.
Okay.
If I lose,
Even if you lose both these parlays.
Yeah, because the Suns won last night.
I heard the Arizona Suns.
I played
won
one
for you.
game last night.
The Arizona
Suns. Jim was so dialed in.
I liked one game. I played one game, Brad.
That's the smart way to do it.
But today I said I'm going to try a parlay a little different.
Okay, what we
because
got?
we got day basketball going on.
I mean, crazy.
Day basketball going on because they got some tournaments going on. And I found out at mybookie.ag, you know what you can do? You can play first half lines in a parlay.
Yeah, it's like,
Sure you can.
It's like man has landed on the moon all of a sudden. Yes.
So I've got a little matchup between the Red Storm of St. John's and the Mean Green of North Texas.
So just color games.
Red Storm, Mean Green.
That's right.
I've got St. John's -1.5 first half line, -1.5 first half line, and I've got the St. Louis Billikens and the Wyoming Cowboys. I got St. Louis -1.5
First half line?
first half line.
Yeah,
Little parlay there.
Buzzer beaters across the board the first half today.
We got to find those games on TV.
No doubt.
Got a little dime on that one. Here we go.
A little dime.
Yeah.
You ain't got a dime on that.
He doesn't even know what that means. He thinks that's $10.
Literally 10 cents.
Yes.
And then I got a little parlay in the NFL tonight.
Do you?
Ooh, we got a little Bengals Ravens. I'm going to say best NFL game on Thursday night this year.
Oh,
Easy,
yeah.
right?
Probably
Easy.
so. Probably so.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Tell me who you got because we got some injury. You've seen the injuries, right?
Marlon Humphrey is out. Sam Hubbard's out. Tyler Boyd's out.
Who does Sam Hubbard play for?
It's crazy. T. Higgins is out.
T. Higgins is
Yeah,
out too?
I meant T. Higgins, not Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. I've got the Cincinnati Bengals +3.5 parlayed with the over 46. So I got the Bengals plus the 3.5 on the road in Baltimore and over 46.
I think the NFL this year is like 70% unders. Am I wrong about that? Is it that big?
It's not that big, but it's over 60% now.
Yeah. It's
Two dimes on that one. And then one more bet tonight happening in Brooklyn. Auburn basketball tonight against Notre Dame.
Wiggle. Are you on the
Notre
Tigers?
Dame is awful.
Yeah.
Full game.
Full game, not first half line.
-14.5. I'm on the Auburn Tigers tonight.
Yeah,
Easy win.
I took
Easy
a look
win.
at them.
Easy win for Auburn.
Did you? That was part of your
Micah
consideration?
Shrewsbury, first-year coach for Notre Dame, they have struggled.
Yeah,
and they've been down double digits in both their first games, ended up losing, who was it they lost to? They were down to Niagara by double digits.
Yeah.
They were down Western Carolina's who they lost
Mike
to.
Bray was the best coach they've ever had, and he just
Digger Phelps.
No,
was the
Mike
best
Bray.
coach they ever
Mike
had.
Bray was more successful than Digger Phelps.
Digger took him to the Final Four.
Okay, that's 1 year. I mean, you don't just get to say I had one good year, so I'm the most successful coach ever.
I don't know
Have you
who was
done any
more
research?
successful. Bray
don't have
should
to.
have gotten to. He had a bad draw against Kentucky in 2015, and they got to the Elite Eight, and they took Kentucky to overtime, and then Kentucky ended up playing Wisconsin and ended up losing that game. But Bray had some really good teams.
Okay, at Notre Dame, Mike Bray had 483 wins.
How long did he coach? Only 20 years at Notre Dame for
You do realize generally a great coach coaches for a long time.
393 for Digger in just 20 years.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
going to count the years.
I don't know if Bray was there. I mean, close to 20.
What was Digger's tournament situation there? Because Bray's got 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16.
Let me
Sweet 16.
Let me just call it out. Sweet 16, Sweet 16, Sweet 16, Sweet 16, Final Four, Elite Eight, all in a run there, back-to-back years.
Digger Phelps way better than I thought.
Yeah, second round, Sweet 16.
All right, so the
second
point-
round, first round, Sweet 16, first round, second round,
The
first
point
round.
about
Fired.
Mike Bray was
I don't think Micah Shrewsbury is going to be in the conversation with those two guys.
Mike Bray was one of the best coaches Notre Dame's ever had, but he drove that thing right into the ground at the end. And this guy's going to have to dig it out. And I do like your play of Auburn, 14.5.
Well,
Auburn should run this team.
Even Digger was 16-12 and then 12-16, and then he was out the gate.
Yeah.
Probably for Mike Bray. Did Bray follow him up?
Oh, no. I
Mike-
can't remember who Mike Bray replaced.
It's been a long time.
I mean,
Yeah.
Digger coached until 1991.
Yeah, Bray
no.
didn't get there till the 2000s. though.
Okay.
Bray was at Delaware before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bray almost got the Auburn job.
Matt Doherty, that's who he replaced, Matt Doherty.
I used to love.
I think Bray's a really good coach.
No, Bray's a good coach.
You don't see Notre Dame basketball on big games anymore on television. It used to be all the time. I always liked their home floor for big games. I would imagine that, knowing Notre Dame, they have not expanded their arena or updated it at all.
Probably not.
I always liked that. But tonight we're in Brooklyn for that contest. In Brooklyn. for that contest this evening, where the Nets play their game. Auburn, that's 8 o'clock, and that is on ESPN2 tonight. Auburn, a 14.5-point favorite in that one. Show being brought to you in part by our friend Dr. B. He's got LT's hair looking fantastic.
Dr. B is the guy you need to call if you are starting to thin out a little bit. Be preemptive. Make the call that I made almost 2 years ago, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. I do the non-invasive treatment on the couch, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. That's it. Dr. B also offers Sensus Transdermal Infuser. Got this done 3 weeks ago. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Again, call today, Dr. Beckenstein, 205-319-0316, t3hair.net. Tell them the next round sent you.
We'll talk to Jalen Milroe coming up at the top of the hour, about 6 minutes away. Nick Saban had a conversation this week in his news conference about his wife, Miss Terry, and Terrion Arnold. Now, we've spoken to Terrion already today. It's on demand. Here's Nick Saban on the relationship between his wife and Alabama DB Terrion Arnold.
Yeah, Terrion mentioned that every team could use a Miss Terry, and she's helped with motivating and just staying locked in. I mean, how does she help the team during the season in terms of what she does to motivate players?
Well, her and Terrion are really kind of buddies. So I know she sort of texts with him and all that, and I kind of get on him. So it's just like kind of raising your children. I'm the guy that's always trying to get them to do right, and she's the mama who's always trying to make them happy. So that's the way it's been for a long time.
The old good cop, bad cop.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Terrion, earlier today when we talked with him, and you can see this entire interview on demand wherever you get the next round, Cut 11 Rockstar, is Terrion Arnold. And this is Terrion going a little bit more into that relationship.
How would you describe the relationship between Terry Saban and you?
Miss Terry, I feel like that relationship is second to none. Like, honestly, I was telling Coach Saban as he was trolling me yesterday, we back there doing kickoff return, he was like, I don't even know why she love you like that. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I'm over here, I get on to you, correct you, and then she just want to come over here and fluff you up. Like, Miss Terry, she just literally is like I told Coach Saban yesterday, I was like, it's a checks and balances relationship. Like, you get on to me in practice, critique me and stuff, and she just comes right here. She's like, I get that Nikki is getting on to you, but he only wants to make you a better person. You just have to accept it. So, like, she's the type of person, like, she is say what he's saying and get the point across, but a whole different way. And, like, those texts before the week and stuff, like, it really makes sense. Like I said on one of the last shows I did, like I said, I used to think Coach Saban used to go tell her what to tell me. Then I was like, nah, Coach Saban ain't this nice. This is definitely Miss Terry telling me.
Hey, since we're using the kid analogy, our guests are not our kids, so we can pick favorites. That is by far one of my favorite interviews we've ever had.
Yeah, one of them.
I'm talking about the person the last couple of weeks. He's been incredible, and he is getting so good on the field. And for Alabama fans, good news, he gets to come back next year, and I think he will be a first-round pick in 2025, top 15 pick.
If he comes back. I mean, there's...
he's got to come back.
He does?
Yeah.
By age?
He's a true sophomore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good for Alabama. Jalen Milroe has been great for Alabama lately, too. Always fun talking with him. He's queued up, ready to go next, live with us here after LT tells us about our friends at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, we were there last night. Our question, what came first, the Cliff Bar or Pete Davidson?
Cliff Bar, I think it's older Pete Davidson.
I think the Cliff Bar has been around since the 60s.
Pete Davidson, 30 years old today, 1993. Mm-hmm. The Cliff Bar, 1992.
Oh, the 60s.
These are things you learn at Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night, the Crestline location. Live music at both locations, the newest and Homewood every Friday and Saturday night. Ice cold buckets full of the Bud Light and incredible food like the tortellini, the cheese tortellini soup that I had last night with the grilled cheese on the side. Fantastic stuff from Rodney Davis. 2 locations. Go see Will Haver and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we're about to talk to Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, who's on fire right now, as is Alabama Chattanooga this week. And you know, if he's, we were already talking to Terrion, and they've got this Link deal going. Nothing would be better than us wearing Link T-shirts up here during the week, helping them with their sales.
Jimmy
right?
Kerr wants one, don't you?
Jimmy wants one. Jaylen Milroe is with us now. He joins us each week, courtesy of Rentalworks, Craneworks, and Wasteworks. Just look for the big dog. He is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Jalen? How are you?
What's up, Boss? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Will you send Jim a shirt? He was dropping a very heavy hint there.
I'll buy one. It's in your bio, right? The link's in your bio. I'll go buy one, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you, do you ever go back and watch the TV copy after you play a game? There's a reason I'm asking you this. Do you ever go back and watch the TV film, or is it just straight game film for you?
Oh, straight game film. You know, I believe in a 24-hour rule. Once the game's over with, you enjoy it and then get over it and get to the next game.
Yeah. The reason I ask you this is obviously I was watching when you got banged up on that initial possession there.
Yeah.
And as you're down on the field, they show your mom and dad in the crowd, and there's a gentleman sitting behind them, and he removes his hat and he stretches his hand forward. He's obviously praying for you. And I don't know if you know who the guy was, but I thought it was very touching to see someone in the crowd do that. And you perhaps may know who the guy was. I just thought that was a really cool moment there.
Oh yeah, it was. I actually did see that photo. It was Tim Keenan's father. That had his hand out praying, and from me to him, I truly appreciate that. You taking the time to pray over me. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, I was on the ground, and then to have someone pray over me, and I know my parents were concerned in that moment. So, but yeah.
I assume you know who Joe Namath is, right?
That's right.
Okay, 1963, 10 total touchdowns in 10 games. You've scored 10 touchdowns in 2 games, and you set another Alabama record this week. Have you ever had a 2-game stretch in your career? I know high school's different, and you guys are just, tearing up guys that aren't close to your talent level. But have you ever scored 10 touchdowns or been responsible for 10 touchdowns in a 2-game stretch?
I have not. I have not been responsible that I can recall doing so. But it's a great moment. You just got to do all that's needed to continue to win, continue to push the offense in the right direction. So whatever is called to do so, I'm gonna do it.
So update us. How's that thigh? Because Jordan Rogers, who played the position in the broadcast, kept talking about how painful it had happened to him before. Obviously, you were in pain throughout, but you played through the pain. How are you as we sit here on a Thursday with that thigh?
Yeah, I'm gonna be ready to go this Saturday and at Bryant-Denny, so I'll be ready to play. Yeah. At this point in the season, not anyone in the country that's 100%. So you just gotta have strong mental toughness. You gotta keep on getting treatment and moving in the right direction. But our training staff done a good job, preparing me for this game and moving me in the right direction. But yeah, like I said, no one in the country that's 100%. So I'm just kind of take it day by day and continue to get treatment.
I can hug my wife really hard, and she will bruise like on her arm or something. She'll get like a finger bruise. She bruises easy. Did that helmet leave a bruise?
Oh, yeah, it did. It's always the day after the game where you feel everything, and it's the day after the game where you see all the swelling and stuff like that. But I'm starting to feel better. It's starting to go down.
Vegas had you at a 44.5 was your rush total. And I think after that 16-yarder where you got popped on the thigh, I think you had 21 yards on that first drive. How much did the game plan change with you and Tommy Rees after you got hit? I mean, were there going to be more design runs?
So it was honestly like when we were like speaking throughout the game, it was just like staying to the game plan, staying to what we had called. And to be honest, it wasn't too many play calls that was designed for me to run. It was just taking what the defense give. And the biggest thing going to that game was getting to a rhythm. That was the biggest thing because we knew that Kentucky had a good defense, and we were just trying to stay in positive downs, and we were trying to control the football as much as possible and put up good drives and stacking, continue to stack good drives. But, me and Coach Rees throughout the game, we communicated and we're just trying to move in the right direction. And just whether it was pass or run, we was on the same page.
Do you ever use a phone that looks anything like that red phone you talk at on the sidelines in real life? Because that looks like it's from 1970 something. And is there anybody on the other line, or are you doing that for the TV cameras?
Oh no, I gotta communicate throughout the game. But yeah, that red phone was different. Having smartphones and stuff like that.
Yeah. But how do you know when to go over and pick up the phone and talk to Tommy? I assume that's who's on the other line. Is Tommy? You guys are talking.
Yeah, so there's someone that on the sideline that communicates with me that says, the phone ring and go pick it up. We get to go talk to Coach Rees. So I have someone that tells me, when I have to talk to him throughout the game.
Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us each week, courtesy of Craneworks, RentalWorks, and Wasteworks. Alabama's big player says, look for the big dog, Craneworks, RentalWorks, and Wasteworks. We talked with Tyler Booker earlier in the week, and he was talking about how, one thing Alabama football has been known for under Nick Saban is dominating games early, and you get teams behind and the game fills over very quickly for the other team. It's something you guys have evolved into, and this was probably the best example of it this week. How good did it feel to know that game is 21-0 before anybody can even get comfortable in their seats?
Yeah, the biggest thing going to the game was doing our job, and we embrace challenges throughout the season, and one of them is going on the road. You can't take that for granted, winning on the road and winning another SC game. But with that game, our mindset was right all week. That's what contributed to any success throughout that game was our mindset throughout the week and how we prepared. I think that was very key. And I seen it in the guys' eyes when we were warming up that everybody was locked in, ready to go. And the biggest thing is I didn't know what the score was. I was just playing the next play and just doing all I can to maximize each drive that I had.
Are you a routine or a superstitious guy? And by this, I mean, do you have like a pregame routine that you typically do? Do you do something celebratory after a big win?
I say I'm a routine guy. I do the same thing every single game day at the same hour, at the same time. I do the same thing. So I'm a routine guy.
What is that though?
Yeah. So I wake up every game day, no matter what time it is, at 6 o'clock, and I meditate and take some time away from football and get my mind off of it. Take time away to listen to music. I shower, hot, cold. And then I look over some material for the game. And then the rest of the day, I don't look at no football. And just have the day to just have a peace of mind throughout the day.
I got to ask you, hot, cold. So you're in the shower and you'll go from hot, you'll jam it into cold. What does that do for you?
Mental toughness. I think to start your day off having some type of scenario to put you through the fire or put you in some sense of having strong mental toughness. That's how I start my day off. So that's something I challenge myself is just taking a cold shower, just start your day off. And I started doing that, and I think it's helped me out.
Damn, personal torture.
I get up and
same thing happens to me when they get my coffee order wrong in the morning. Right. It gets me going in the bad direction.
Mental toughness.
Yes.
All right, Jaylen, good luck against Chattanooga, and we'll talk with you next week about the Iron Bowl. We look forward to that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. Have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Jalen Milroe, the Alabama quarterback, with us, courtesy of Craneworks, Rentalworks, and Wasteworks. He's Alabama's big guy. Look for the big dog. Craneworks, Rentalworks, and Wasteworks.
I mean, he was on 6 minutes before the top of the hour, so he was listening
Lombardi time
to the last segment, and I was always like, always going to be on time, man. I like that guy, and here he goes. Jalen Milroe with Chattanooga this week says the thigh's okay. They got him ready to play. Don't know how much he'll play. Traditionally, starters play in this game usually through the first drive of the second half is usually Nick Saban handles this. A little different this late in the year, but as many of you point out, you hate this game. People like Roy Dell got hurt in this game last year.
Yeah, this is to me a first half, if that, for Jalen, and then a Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Hey, Ty Simpson, come showcase your skills because this is your transfer game.
But Nick Saban.
I mean, I think it is.
But Nick Saban, to Dunaway's point, he's not alone in this. A lot of coaches like this. They love for their starters to continue their routine of go to the locker room, get the coaching, come back out, keep up your intensity, play hard, and then come out of the game.
That's right.
And I know it frustrates fans because you're like, why is so-and-so still in there?
It's 45-0.
It's 45-0, but coaches really like to do that. That's part of the routine of being a college football player. You go in the locker room, get your adjustments, come out, continue playing with the intensity that you played with in the first half, and they just don't like going away from that. And I get it.
And you can't play scared. You can't try to avoid injury. But if Jalen Milroe goes down, I mean, that's been the difference. Jalen Milroe has made the offensive line better. He is making great decisions. The game is slowed down. He's not only doing it with his legs, he's doing it with his arm now. And if he was to go down, it would be catastrophic. Because I don't know if Ty Simpson could win on the road in Jordan-Hare.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, I don't know if Jalen Milroe can. We'll see. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. But, with Jalen Milroe, Alabama's definitely going to be favored. But without him, they're not winning the championship.
A lot more to get to in this segment, including our friends at Michelson Laser Vision as we look ahead to the weekend coming up.
Hey, now is the time. Stop procrastinating. The holiday season is rolling in. How about the gift of sight? If you call 205-969-8100, you schedule the consultation, and you get screened out and get the procedure done by New Year's Eve, you're going to save big. It is a one-time offer right now from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago. I've still got 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100 or online, michelsonlaservision.com.
We said it yesterday, and it happened when the show was over with, but David Braun is now the permanent head coach at Northwestern.
Deserves it.
They took the interim tag off, and you say, well, why would they keep somebody from the Pat Fitzgerald staff with everything that went on off the field that cost Fitzgerald the job? It was his first year on the staff, and as a defensive coordinator, he has not been there through these allegations that have cost Pat Fitzgerald his job. He's new to the coaching staff. He keeps it now. 5-5 this year. 2 chances to get bowl eligible with a team that was 1-11 last year.
That would be incredible.
And I told you guys, I watched a lot of that Wisconsin game, or at least I had it on, so I was sampling it. And those guys play for David Braun.
Yeah.
And for them to be at 500 right now, there was zero expectation. I think their win total was like 2.5 or 3 in Vegas. He's got them playing at another level right now. Obviously, the Big Ten West is no good. But they've exceeded expectations, and those players in year one have really embraced it.
By the way, other side of that game, hugely disappointing first year for Luke Fickell.
Oh, yeah.
5-5.
They've lost their way. They don't have an identity.
They don't, and they haven't really had one all year. Purdue and at Illinois up next. Those are 2 pretty bad teams. Everybody in the division's bad. So I think Northwestern actually could get this home and get bowl eligible, which is an
coin flip game.
So
all those teams are kind of bunched together, and Iowa's kind of taking the lead with their defense.
Yeah, but that's one of those programs that when people say, well, 12 teams, why do we even have bowl games? That's one of those teams that a bowl game, any bowl game is huge for them,
no doubt,
right?
No
it's
doubt.
fun to watch those type of bowl games.
Well, and you heard Elijah McAllister talk about, hey, man, it's important that I extend my final season with a bowl game. So we might shit on bowls, but for a lot of these players, based on circumstances, year one under a coach, these are big moments for these guys.
Big moments. And then there's the Dan Mullen discussion about maybe returning to Mississippi State. He was on Sirius XM radio yesterday, our friends at Sirius XM. Here is Dan Mullen, ESPN analyst, talking about his name being mentioned back in Starkville at Mississippi State.
It's always a great honor as your name gets mentioned with stuff. And I know the people of Mississippi are so special and hold a special place in my heart. So, that's, as I always say, you never say never when those things go on. And I've had a lot of people, I haven't spoken to anybody administratively with Mississippi State. I've talked to all kinds of the fans and friends and people that we love in Mississippi say, please, are you, or like as you see all over the place. But you never say never going back, but I don't know if this is the time.
Yeah. Dan Mullen yesterday, 8 bowls in 9 seasons.
Well, look, he did a hell of a job. I think you can. I mean, I don't know if it's an argument. He's the best coach in Mississippi State history just based on on-field success.
Yeah.
I think based on that, I think he would take the job. I don't know if they would offer him the job.
It seemed like he was dancing around a few things to answer that question, though, didn't it? Which I don't want to try to read too much into that, but
I also think he's got an ego, and if he doesn't get offered the job, he doesn't want to say, man, yeah, I'd go back.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was being very careful how he answered that, which you could read a lot into that on many different angles. That, they're already talking to him and he's just trying to, keep it at arm's length, or to your point, he hasn't been asked yet. He wouldn't mind being asked, so he doesn't want to immediately shut it down. I mean, you could read a lot of things into the way he answered that question.
Zach says, how about Jackie Sherrill? He actually made it to Atlanta.
Yeah.
The 99 SEC West was awful.
That's right. In an era where the SEC West was clearly the best division, he had Mississippi State number 1 in the nation in the first ever college football playoff.
I always thought Jackie Sherrill was a little overrated.
I think Jackie Sherrill's a good coach, but I would take Dan Mullen over Jackie Sherrill.
I mean, you can go Jackie Sherrill at 3 different schools and argue and make an argument. Maybe not the correct answer, but you can make an argument: greatest coach in Pitt history, greatest coach in Texas A&M history, greatest coach in Mississippi State history.
Pitt, Johnny Majors won a national championship, right?
Jackie Sherrill's players.
That's okay, though. I mean, you got an argument there.
R.C. Slocum.
You got an argument at A&M. You've got an argument at State. I don't know if he's the best either place, but he's in the discussion.
But find me someone else.
I know.
That you can make an argument was the best coach at a school at 3 different places.
Bear Bryant.
Kentucky.
Maryland. Alabama.
Urban Meyer.
A&M.
Yeah.
For Bryant.
Urban Meyer. Utah, Florida.
Ohio State.
Yeah,
Ohio State. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty good company you're mentioning Jackie with.
You're going to go Woody
Nick
Hayes.
Saban, I'm going to say, was the best coach at Michigan State, although he didn't have the success Mark D'Antonio did, because you can't get it out of your head. It was Nick Saban.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But Jackie did a good job.
No, I don't disagree.
Did a good job at all those places, by the way. I mean, it was Major that was there. And did Major win the national championship, or was that Jackie?
I thought it was Jackie. Well, I don't know. Here, why don't I just look?
No,
it up?
Johnny. I think Johnny Majors is the one that won the national championship at Pitt in '76.
Yeah, it was Johnny
76,
Majors.
okay.
Yeah.
And then Jackie followed it up. So it was Johnny Majors that
So
had
Jackie
Johnny
took
Majors.
his players.
Yeah, okay.
Coasted with those for a little bit.
I was coasted. I will say this, though.
Jackie recruited Dan Marino.
At State.
Paid him big.
At State, Cheryl was 75-2. And they, a 500 overall record ain't terrible. Now, he was 43-59-1.
What was he at Mississippi?
That was
Texas
State.
A&M.
At A&M, 52-28-1.
52-28-1 at Texas A&M.
Yeah, and he went to 3 straight Cotton Bowls.
R.C. Slocum's number is going to be better than that.
Yeah,
coach longer. Yeah, but
3 straight Cotton Bowls, which that was the big deal then. I mean, to go to the Cotton
that's
Bowl,
where the conference champion
you had won
went,
the
yeah.
conference. He won 3 straight Southwest conferences.
What was he at Pitt?
59-1.
He was what?
50.
50.
Pauls.
9-1. Back when we had ties.
I tried to do as pregnant a Pauls as I could there.
50 wins, 9 losses, and a tie.
You forget his 3-8 year at Washington State. We're not going to argue that he was great at Washington State.
R.C. Slocum 123-47.
Oh, do the winning
at
percentages.
A&M.
What's the winning percentages?
I'll bet you all the stakes right now it's much better.
Well, you're good at percentages. Tell me what's the percentage?
He won.
So that's 66, 67%?
67%.
And what was Jackie? 50-something and 20-something. That's going to be about 70%.
No.
In quick percentages.
By the way.
At State, he was 64%. Or at A&M, he was 64%.
Jackie was?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about, just listen to this. 9-3, 10-2, 12-1, 10-2, 10-0, 9-3, 9-4, 11-3.
Yeah, no. R.C. Slocum, really, really good coach.
4 Cotton Bowls.
Yeah. Jackie Sherrill, how'd we get on him? Oh, Mississippi State and Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen. We're arguing is Dan Mullen the best coach in state history, which I think he is. And I don't know. Talking to state people, I don't know what kind of appetite there is for this. It goes back and forth. Some people did not like him after he left, and some loved him.
Okay, a couple more sponsors here in this segment. One, after I tell you about our friends at Milo's. Milo's introducing loaded fries to their menu. Classic crinkle-cut fries topped with queso, bacon, and jalapenos. That's the Mexi fries. You got the saucy fries, 100% pure ground beef, grilled onions, Milo sauce, and queso on top of that. If you download the Milo's mobile app, use the promo code NEXTROUND. Put that together on the promo code there, NEXTROUND, and try one of their new loaded fries for free. That's the Milo's mobile app. Download that today. Appreciate them so much more. As we get ready for this weekend, back to that Georgia game, Brock Bowers played last week, had 34 yards, got a touchdown. It was good to see him out there. Didn't see him limited at all. That's huge as Georgia plays Tennessee this week.
Yeah, I think that was kind of an unknown for Kirby. Hey, look, if you can play, we're going to bring you back. We're playing a top 10 team in Ole Miss, and we might need you. I think they probably need him this weekend.
I think so, but this is really the first time this year they've had he and McConkey fully together. I think he and Ladd played in a game or two, but Ladd McConkey was still limited.
Yep.
And I don't know how limited Bowers is anymore. I mean, he had 3 catches.
Georgia's getting scary
against Ole
offensively.
Miss, yeah.
So how does Tennessee keep it close? You guys keep thinking they're going to keep it close. How do they keep it close?
I just think first of all, it's going to be a difficult atmosphere to play in for Georgia. This is something they haven't had to do since Jordan-Hare Stadium, where the atmosphere, it appears it affected them some, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to ask Carson Beck to do something he doesn't normally do, and that's play in a hostile atmosphere. I think you'll just get an inspired. I'm just banking on it's going to be a more inspired performance. A lot of times when you have to stop and look yourself in the mirror and say, who am I really, right? Who really am I? And am I the team that just went and played at Missouri and in a lot of ways embarrassed my brand? Or am I better than that? And I just think you'll have those players, Lance, that look in the mirror this week and say, we're a better football team than what we showed at Missouri, and I think they'll play an inspired performance. They're still going to lose the game. I want to, I can't stress that.
I'm right there with you. I think it's like a 7 to 10 point win. I just think they come in a little bit flat. I think the atmosphere will force a turnover or two. Carson Beck, he was good against Auburn. He wasn't great. He did throw the pick, and I think it's going to be kind of the same as the Auburn game. I think it'll go back and forth for a little bit. Joe Milton's going to have to make some plays.
Yeah, that's the thing that scares me the most in all this.
That's what it's all about to me. I don't see Tennessee. I mean, Milton can't get it done. He just can't get it done.
Milton is, I think he was overbilled coming into the season. Milton is who we thought he was going to be, but I think Tennessee sold him as dude can throw it 80 yards.
What's the history
Dan
between...
McGuire could throw it 80 yards.
Y'all update me again on what happened between Eli Drinkwitz and Josh
Nobody
Heupel.
knows.
But did you see the audio clip afterwards?
I did. Nobody can really figure out why Drinkwitz said what he said to Heupel.
What was it? We're all about business here.
It was something like that.
We're all about business here, Josh.
We stand on business.
We stand on business, Josh.
Something like that, yeah. A lot of people think it's because Tennessee had worn them out 2 straight years. I don't know that Tennessee was running the score up or anything last year. I don't know. But I've tried to find what the history is between the two, and I can't find anything.
Forster says it's just being drink.
I kind of agree with Scotty there. I think that's what it is.
I didn't know if Josh somehow had talked about, he's one of those rah-rah guys more than he is.
So here's what's going to happen. If Eli Drinkwitz ever gets another job and gets good, people are going to hate that guy.
They're going to hate him?
Yeah, he's going to be so obnoxious.
Yeah, if he's not at like an underdog school like Missouri.
I always said that about James. If James Franklin ever won a national championship.
Well, do you have to beat ranked teams to do that?
Yeah, so
okay,
I don't think we got to worry about that, but
yeah.
I said it years ago. He's going to be hard to handle.
All right, when we come back, Rockstar's got our 4 downs today. The show being brought to you in part by our friends right there at oh, yeah. Tell us about Redmont Vodka, LT.
Locally owned and
Right
operated.
there.
Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind it. Ask for it by name at your local restaurants or bars. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. It's 8 times distilled. It's gluten-free. You're going to love the product. Available in 22 states. Again, it is Redmont Vodka.
Tyler Watts and Jim Dunaway on All Things Alabama. Watch Talk of Champions at Rollside Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. HydroLive's got 3 locations, Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
Give the gift of Daniel Moore art this holiday season with the 2024 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar. This year's calendar features collectors' most beloved Daniel Moore Alabama football moments, from the classic goal line stand to the Saban-era 2nd and 26. Special offer for listeners only. Buy 2 calendars and get 1 free with code HOLIDAY at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Hey, remember when we were talking to Roman Harper earlier in the show Mm-hmm. That's Hydrolife who's here with us. LT talking to her there. She's pulling a beer from our friends at Adams Beverage. And LT is about to get hooked up to a bag with our friends at Hydrolife coming up. Earlier in the show when we were talking to Roman Harper in the barber chair, we mentioned Tua's new look. And Tua, yesterday in the news conference, was pushing back against everyone on social media who says he looks like Drake with that haircut. Here's Tua.
Twitter's already kind of ablaze. They think you look like Drake.
Oh, don't show that to my wife. But Drake, I don't know if I look like Drake. Drake?
Can you rap?
Kiki.
So Tua, there's your quarterback with a new look there.
Yeah, I mean, as I reminded everyone on Twitter, and you guys can back me up on this, when has a Hawaiian-born quarterback with cornrows lost a Super Bowl?
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
He's got a little Timberlake in him.
Yeah, here's the problem.
Oh, really? You think some JT?
I see some Timberlake in him.
You start to associate him with Drake. This is when he gets hurt
That's
against
bad
Vegas.
news. You're right. Let's don't say that. Let's don't speak that into existence. But I mean, this is a guy that got he got the Samoan arm tattoo
right
in the offseason. Now he's got a little cornrow action coming out of the bye week. Looks like he's trying to change his image.
Our friends at Wayne's want to remind you that the weather is changing. When it cools down, you can stop mice, bed bugs, and rodents before they all come in. I never think about bed bugs coming in during the wintertime, but it says right here in my big script
How
from
about
our friends
that?
at Wayne's. Call 866-WAYNES-1, 866-WAYNES-1 to give yourself a safe and pest-free home this holiday season. And sign up for any reoccurring service with Wayne's and celebrate their 50th anniversary with $50 off. $50 off with our friends at Wayne's. Don't let mice and rats be uninvited guests in your holiday celebration. Pest-free this holiday season. Call Wayne's, 866-WAYNES-1. Is the number 866-WAYNES-1, or go online to callwaynes.com. Before Rockstar gives us his 4 downs today, Kevin Harvick, who just retired from NASCAR, has made a purchase. A $6.75 million mansion in Cornelius, North Carolina, right there on that big lake up there.
Lake Norman? Is that the name of it, Jim?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
you're
so.
right.
6 bedrooms, 9 baths, infinity pool, hot tub, 2 docks, a boat lift, and a beach area.
Good for him.
And a putting green.
That money spends good, don't
And
it?
a putting green.
NASCAR money spend good, don't it?
This movie made famous, this mansion made famous in a movie. What movie do you think it was?
And where is it again?
Cornelius, North Carolina.
So it was just exterior shots,
Oh,
obviously.
I will
Interiors,
go American Gangster.
Oh, good
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
Incorrect, though. Talladega Nights.
Oh, boogity, boogity, boogity.
It is actually the Ricky Bobby house that first
really?
pretend to be his house.
Didn't they make it really tacky?
I'm sure that was just for the movie.
Harvick has changed it.
But $6.75 million, and it's Ricky Bobby's house
How
right
about
there.
that? That's
Slice.
sexy.
So go ahead.
That's actually pretty cool.
Slice brings you 4 downs every day.
Yeah, 4 great locations of Slice, the original Lakeview, one in Vestavia, Montevallo Crestline Park. Don't forget about that $75 carry-out special every single night. You can get 12 of the fire-baked wings. You can get 2 of the specialty pizzas, half pan of the salad. It's only $75. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
First of all, some of the best answers to these questions come in the text.
That is true.
Great answers from Scott and Taylor last night.
Yep.
It's just interesting that we can't reveal those. But what is suspicious to own but not illegal?
A mannequin. Like
there's a house.
Oh, there's a house in Vestavia. We
They-
pass it when we leave church almost every Sunday.
And it's seasonal. It's bikini
Yep.
season. It's graduation gown season.
And you know what I found? They're Missouri fans, too. They put out a Missouri thing. But my daughters over the years have loved to look at it to see what the mannequin is wearing. It's on the road right next to Shades Mountain Baptist Church. And as I'm leaving, headed back to 280 to go home, we pass it every Sunday.
That is suspicious. I'll go chloroform.
Yeah, that's true. Not illegal.
Yeah.
It's just in case.
Yeah, just keep it on the
I
shelf.
mean, you have that in your passenger seat.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, "Hey, yeah, let me clean this up for you." Well, you got chloroform? What's that for?
I mean, no offense to people who have drones. I don't trust people with drones. And there's a lot you can do with drones.
There's a lot you can see.
Yeah.
I've had friends who've had them fly over them when they were laying out in their backyard. Drones fly by.
Yeah, the only people I know that own drones are kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, drones, no
offense, you're weird.
Yeah.
No offense.
I would disagree with Lance's assessment of that, but
I am suspicious of
Well, do you know anybody that owns one?
Oh, yeah. I know several people.
Unless you're using it for work, like to fly up and inspect a roof or, fly up and shoot videos.
Yeah, my brother-in-law has one, and it's one of those, this is not like a lot of people have these, I get it, but it's one of those where it's got the camera and I can watch it on the cell phone, as it's flying, or on the controller as it's flying. And we were not doing anything nefarious with it, but we were at my in-laws' house and we were flying around looking at things. It's actually pretty cool.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. You're on, buddy. I would say a snake.
Snake's a good one, Snake. Yeah. Snake's a
Second
good one.
down.
What is something that still has not gone back to normal since the pandemic?
I will say work ethic. I think our government freaked us out so bad and placated to the lazy segment of society, and now nobody wants to work. They want to lay on the couch, and there's a lot of different things that haven't changed, but I would say work ethic.
I think the food service industry, by and large, now there are some places that go back to the same, but by and large, they're not the same. I mean, you go to a lot of places, still QR code menus. Takeout everybody embraces takeout now. Like, there were so many places that just didn't really embrace takeout, and now they do because the pandemic forced them to, basically.
Yeah, dining into fast food restaurants, nobody does it anymore.
No, most of them closed for the longest time, and they finally was like, well, we'd rather not have you sit in and waste our time.
Well, there are some restaurants that, now they didn't want the shutdown portion of the pandemic, but post-shutdown, they're like, I'm fine with this business model.
That's right.
Like,
drive-through only.
Yeah, I've talked to some restaurant owners that are like, if we never have to open the indoor of our... Now, some places are not all places like this, but some are like, if we never have to open the inside again, I am A-okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm making a killing on drive-through and takeout.
Like, I think I'm right about this. The Chick-fil-A's that are close to us are some of the best drive-thrus in the world, and they make a killing. And I don't even know if you can go inside.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But they do such a good job outside and the mobile orders. But we're literally building a Chick-fil-A. Where what's that sports bar? Where your Winn-Dixie is? Your old Winn-Dixie.
Oh, on tap.
Yeah, we're building a standalone building there. That building's
That's not going to be a Chick-fil-A.
It's going to be a Chick-fil-A. It's be our third one within the
Boy,
area.
I think
it's going to be dine-in only.
Oh, I thought it was their catering operation. I think it's their catering operation.
Oh, I thought it was Chick-fil-A dine-in.
I don't think you're correct.
Boy, I think both owner-operators on the one on 119 and Mark Meadows would be super pissed.
Yeah, no.
I think one of them owns it.
I think it's a catering operation.
Well, the other one's going to be super pissed.
Yeah, I think I was told it was going to be dine-in only for the family experience.
Yeah.
Good reliable source.
Restaurant.
You guys, we need to have a family experience.
Yeah, family. You go in, you sort of bring back the family values and sit down.
We'll see what happens, but I was told
pass me a nug, Pop.
I was told the catering is overwhelming some of these locations, so much so that they've had to build a catering centralized thing.
By the way, speaking of which, I was down at Champy's yesterday, 119 in Alabaster, and I sent out a picture of the tamales as an appetizer. And one of our friends, Casey, who watches the show, says he used them with physicians, a business meeting, catering for 55 with our friends at Champy's.
Do you get one of those margaritas?
I did not. I was coming off post MRI, so
post shaming. You need to get off the couch.
Third down.
What celebrity looks better older than they did when they were younger? Mine is 100% Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, she's gotten better with age.
That early Elaine.
That's a good one.
Her on Veep.
I've got one female, one male. My female would be Gwen Stefani. I think she looked good back in the day.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, so C-Stu, when he recorded the voice at my house, and it's on one of my Genies, so it always records on one of my TVs. And I just need to get in there and shut it down. But it was on one of the TVs the other night. And looking at Gwen Stefani, she looks, I think she's got to deal with the devil. She looks better as she gets older. And then Paul Rudd for a dude.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is good. I think George Clooney got better with age.
He's turned a little bit, though.
He has lately.
Have you seen the coffee commercial?
Yeah.
He's not the best version of George Clooney.
But there was for a while, into his 60s. He was.
I'll go back to a movie that got referenced here on the show recently. I think Jennifer Connelly in Top Gun Maverick. I think that's the best look she's ever had, personally.
She was great in Career Opportunities.
Yeah.
But she was a little...
Yeah, I think she's always been great. I think Requiem for a Dream before she got really on the heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heroin will do it too. Yeah.
Chris says Gwen Stefani does not have a deal with the devil. It's plastic surgery.
Well, depends on who's doing the plastic
Madonna's
surgery.
had some plastic surgery, and you can kind of tell
looks
the difference.
rough. Yeah.
Gwen
Awful.
Stefani, plastic surgery, she had to change the lyrics to her song to "I Can't Speak" instead of "Don't Speak."
Oh, okay, because it's "Don't Speak."
Right. That's it. That was it. Yeah.
She's
got it.
she's just a girl, a plastic girl. Right.
Can't speak.
4th down.
Yeah. Plastic webs.
Okay. What would be the worst song to play for a featured dancer at a strip club?
The Crying Game.
I said worst song.
Well, when I first started going and stopped going, but
Everybody Hurts REM.
no, it was Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it?
Right.
And that was
Not a damn thing, sweetheart. You just keep doing your thing.
every third dancer was, "What's love got to do with it?"
Look, it's an awful song that all about bass, all about the bass, all about bass.
Meghan Trainor.
Yeah, Meghan Trainor. Yep.
So you're fat and it's a terrible song.
Yeah. Wow.
Pour Some Sugar on Me was always a good one too.
So you're doing
dating your
good
you're-
ones.
Yeah, you're doing the opposite of the question.
These are not good ones?
No, it's literally in the question. The worst ones.
Oh, the worst ones.
Yeah.
Did you read your text?
No.
You replied, Jay.
What do you think?
I was post MRI. At that point.
No, I don't like to
post MRI.
I like to do these on the fly. It makes it more entertaining. Ooh.
Well, that was 4 of them right there.
Yeah, that's 4 downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. And the show also being brought to you today by our friends at the Pan Store, getting you ready for another football weekend. Home games this weekend, then the Iron Bowl next week. But more importantly, when it's time to get under that tree with the best gift ever, why not make it team gear from the Pan Store? Panstore.com, Panstore.com. Anywhere you're watching or listening to us, you can get an order from the Pan Store. Great Alabama and Auburn gear as well, with those game day polos, hats, and quarter zips. Choose from famous name brands like Gentile, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Elephant Head, and Taylor and Mick. And ladies gear as well, including the rompers and the booties. Find any of your game day needs and Christmas gifts right there at Panstore.com. 6 locations: Auburn, Crestline, Hoover, Huntsville, Leeds, and Tuscaloosa. Rockstar.
I was just giving Bob Sacramento in the chat room a credit for this. Bringing to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Candy. Damn, she's good, man. She's good.
A little slow in the song, but all right.
That would be bad at that point.
That would be. But I wouldn't leave, but it would be.
Tommy
bad.
said "hurt" from 98 Tales, even the Johnny Cash version.
Yeah. That ending.
I heard myself.
Yeah, but they played that at strip clubs before.
To see if I.
Our friends at Maestro Dobel Diamante, the best tequila in the world as well. 100% pure agave, the exceptional tequila that's aged in European oak barrels. Ask for it by name wherever you buy your tequila, or if you're out drinking this weekend or this holiday season, see if they have it wherever you go to your favorite watering hole. It's Maestro Dobel Diamante, crystal clear and robust. Maestro Dobel Diamante tequila.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and more. If you mention the Next Round at checkout, save 20% off any service. You can join the IV League today. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about that. Hydra Life Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Back with you on the next round. It is that time of week and month where LT gets stuck by Hydra Live. Great folks there at Hydra Live, LT.
Yes. This is Nurse Lacey. Wave to everybody there. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. They're open 7 days a week. 2 locations around us, one in Greystone, one in Homewood, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you can't make it, somebody like Nurse Lacey can actually come to your place of business or home. Go to HydraLifeTherapy.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at HydraLifeTherapy. Very important. Mention Next Round at checkout. You're going to get 20% off any of these great services. Again, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof.
Stick it.
Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. What kind of bag am I getting today?
You've got B12 in your bag for some energy, and then you've got vitamin C in our defensive blend for an immunity boost. So,
oh, there you go.
What's it called? Or did you make it up?
Oh, it's made up.
Okay.
It's the Lacey.
It's a Lacey concoction. Yeah.
Okay.
The Lacey underalls.
So for those that maybe didn't hear it, B12 and what else?
Yeah, B12 for energy, and then our defensive blend and vitamin C for immunity.
Okay.
I'd call it the Lazy River.
The Lazy River. I like that. The Lazy River.
I like that.
Because it flows.
The Lazy River. By the way, if we ever wanted to execute Lance, if he was a sitting president, it would be through Hydra Live. We'd just make up bags and it'd be like, all right.
He would never know. Yeah.
He'd never know. He
Get
trusts
some of that Bear Bryant cola.
He trusts Lacey with his life right here. You didn't even flinch, man. You just did that read, stuck that needle in there. You didn't flinch.
My daughter's in the other room. She didn't flinch.
Yeah, I do flinch.
You do flinch.
Yeah.
We got video. Scott can show you. And I think it was just a B12 injection, wasn't it?
We show it all the time.
It's like a mosquito dick. That's how small the needle is. And you squalled like a girl.
Is that a medical term?
Yes.
There?
Yeah.
What gauge are you going to use? Let's use the mosquito dick on Dunaway.
Okay.
Bag here, 2 bags in the other room.
Kelsey's got a bag.
Kelsey, so 4 bags working
got
up
a
here right
B12
now.
shot.
Kelsey told me she was only getting a shot today.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like a mass unit up here, though.
3 bags and a couple of B12 shots going on up here. Yeah. So that's our friends at Hydra Live, locations everywhere. In fact, I park right next to the one in Tuscaloosa on game days, so it's everywhere. Our friends at Hydra Live, go check them out. Football weekend is back with
there
you.
It is. Look.
Yeah. That hurts.
I mean,
see, that's what it was. I'm getting a bag at that point. It's not a B12 shot, LT, and it was not her. No offense to that lady.
No, it's not Lacey.
If you want me to stick you today.
No, I don't.
Get a bag,
is that a new tattoo, though?
No, not a new one. Same one. You've seen this.
Yeah, Jim wants to know he's got one.
Yeah, but you've seen the movie Deliverance, right?
I have, yes.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
I don't think Ned Beatty squealed as much as you did.
Our friends at Alabama Power want to remind you that making it easy right now to manage your account is what they're trying to do. And they do that with the Alabama Power app you can download from the Apple and Android stores. Our friends at Alabama Power control your energy use, check outages, and when it's coming back at your place. It's alabamapower.com/mobile app, alabamapower.com/mobile app, or in your Apple and Android stores. Around the NFL, a couple of interesting notes. Cleveland, without their starting quarterback, will go to DTR for the rest of the season. A good move here, I think, by the Browns. They're still in the playoff hunt.
I mean, here's the thing. Without Nick Chubb, with Deshaun Watson playing average football, they're still winning games. They were down double digits last week to the Ravens, came back on 2 occasions, came back and won those games. They've just got a really good culture. Their defense is elite. And I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson, watching him in the preseason, he seems comfortable. So I don't think you get much of a drop-off. And it'll be interesting to see if Cleveland can continue to win games with DTR.
I mean, P.J. Walker came in and played well for them. It's I don't know what this team has. They've got something, though. And
better record than the Bengals right now.
Oh, I know. And again, they did their entire division a favor by beating the Ravens on the road last week. Now they get the Steelers this week. We previewed that game with Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network, and DJ Football over at Disrupt the Media. Links to that in the descriptions of this YouTube video. If you're watching us right here, you can get the link right there. I don't know. It's a fascinating game this weekend without Deshaun Watson, but they have played some of their better football without him this year.
Mac Jones, according to the report in the Boston Globe today and from NBC Boston, Mac Jones has lost 80% of the locker room. That players are telling reporters up there they are done with Mac Jones.
Did you see what Gronk said?
Gronk says that he should ask for his outright release and go quarterback the Browns.
Yeah, Gronk said nobody respects Mac Jones in this organization. And you hate it for Mac. I mean, he had a really good rookie season, kind of hit a wall towards the end. And then Belichick goes and decides to, bring in his own coordinators. And that was kind of the regression. We'll get to this with Orlovsky, but that was kind of the moment that Mac Jones went the other way. And he's lost all confidence. He doesn't have playmakers around him. I guarantee you Mac Jones would love to get the hell out of it.
Yeah, I think he needs a reset somewhere. I think that whole franchise needs a reset. They've got to be past Belichick after this year, and they got to reset at quarterback. And it's going to be not a great roster. It's going to take a rebuild there in New England. You're in the rebuild phase. I mean,
and there are reports that Kraft will. It was Diana Rossini yesterday reporting that Kraft will part ways with Belichick, according to her reporting at the end of the year.
So you guys know Johnny Cogden, our friend at ABC 3340. He joined us out at the Regions talking Celtics. We loved him because of his passion and his Boston accent. I see him every Sunday night when I do the Zone at 3340. And this Sunday he said, Brownie, for the first time in my lifetime, I watched the Patriots game and I'm like, I'm okay with that loss because of draft picks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sad place to be, but that's where you find some Patriots fans now.
Bengals and Ravens tonight. 5-4 Bengals, 7-3 Ravens, and Bengals need this one bad. They're underdogs. Ravens -3.5, 7:15 on Prime. I assume some kind of play at Lance's Live.
Yeah, I've got a side on that. We've got 5 plays up, including the side of the Bengals-Ravens tonight.
It is a massive game for the Bengals.
Yeah, big game for them. I like them at mybookie.ag. I played it +3.5. Yeah. You can fade me or play me, however you want to ride the righteous gemstone there.
And they are without key players and playing the team that is leading their division. And if you're the Bengals, I mean, I think you and I had declared them out of the playoffs, and I started to regret that. But if they lose tonight, that's an uphill climb for them in the playoffs.
Well, when you start to look at the AFC and how loaded it is, and both teams coming off really disappointing losses. Again, the Ravens had 2 double-digit leads on the Browns. Bengals lose to rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, and the Texans and C.J. Stroud.
Jeff says the rumors out there is that Belichick will be the next coach of the Chargers.
Well, that guy has even going to the playoffs, even got criticized. Brandon Staley's been criticized from day one out there, even in their wins.
Didn't they blow a 28-point lead in the playoffs?
It was the biggest one of the biggest collapses we've ever seen in playoff history.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Justin Herbert's got to be held accountable too.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, but you can't fire him.
Nope.
You're married to him. You can fire the coach very quickly.
Yeah. By the way, Bears. Justin Fields returns this week for versus the Lions, Bears and Lions this weekend. 4 games he was gone. Tyson Bagent was 2-2.
Yeah, and he's a heck of a story. Yeah.
But they're going back to Fields.
But everybody is saying that this might be similar to what it looks like Arizona is going to do with Kyler Murray. is let's play the rest of this season and see if we want to move forward with this guy or not. Yeah. And that's definitely what the Cardinals are doing with Kyler Murray. I don't know if it's what the Bears are going to do quite yet with Justin Fields.
But if you're the Cardinals, the interesting thing is you could have played your way into the first overall pick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to win games or not, but if he does, then you've kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, they're caught in that situation I always talk about where they've kind of got a mid-tier quarterback. And if you're the Bears, you watch Justin Fields because you've got a top draft pick. I mean, the Bears can actually fix this with a top draft pick of a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or somebody like that if they don't think they got what they want.
Tell us about our friends at Hemp Hill, LT. They bring you Lance's Lock every night.
Yeah, Hemp Hill Services. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the team there, 205-229-2090. Tell them the next round sent you. They'll hook you up with that $69 fall tune-up. It's hard to stop a train. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Broadcasting World and NASCAR mourning the loss of Ken Squire, age 88, passed away yesterday. He was the voice of NASCAR into the 70s, early 80s. He called the famous 1979 Daytona 500, where they had the fight at the end of the race. It was on ABC Live. It was the first live Daytona 500, I believe, and he was the voice of that. He passes away. On this day in 1957, Notre Dame beat Oklahoma 7-0, ending the sport's longest win streak of 47 straight games. Back then, you played both ways. The same guy who scored the touchdown for Notre Dame also had the game-ending pick six in the end zone that preserved the victory for the Irish as they beat Oklahoma. 47 straight wins, 1957, still stands today. Georgia going for 28 this weekend.
And who was the dude that had the winning touchdown and the winning pick?
I didn't write down his name.
I'd love to put a GoPro on that guy back in the day. I bet he had a good night.
Yeah, but he did too.
He slept well too.
Yeah. 47-game win streak. Hard to imagine what Georgia's done. 28 this weekend if they beat Tennessee, and you still got to do 19 more straight wins.
The weird thing
that ain't happening.
The weird thing about that game is Notre Dame was coming off a combined 54-12 losses to Navy and Michigan State, and then somehow turned around and beat Oklahoma. Lance, a little bit like what we're talking about with Tennessee and Georgia this week.
A little look ahead.
Hey, no, I'm just saying, though. I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like Notre Dame at some point had to look in the mirror and say, are we a team that's going to lose 20-6 to Navy and 34-6 to Michigan State? And for whatever reason decided they weren't. And you got to think, like I wasn't watching back then, but you got to think Oklahoma probably went through the motions a little bit in that game.
Draymond Green suspension, not 10, but 5 games without pay.
Not enough.
Which is a lot of money.
Not enough.
January 9th is when Tiger's Professional Team Golf League, TGL, is supposed to debut. It may be delayed now. If you've not paid attention, rainstorms blowing through Florida and in Palm Beach Gardens. This is the SoFi Dome. Forrester's got a picture of this. The SoFi dome that was being built to host this whole league, and it collapsed last night. The roof did. The technology on this is supposed to be amazing. It's simulator golf,
not the inflation.
No. I'll tell you what's not amazing is the construction.
Well, it's in the process of being built, but it's going to hold 2,000 fans. But it's going to be simulating golf until they get around the green brown, and they're going to have technology built where you're putting on putting greens that it changes each hole. So they'll have hydraulics that change the brakes and everything, made for television golf starting January 9th on ESPN.
Yeah.
I won't be
No
watching.
interest?
0.
I bet you end up watching it.
I bet nobody will watch.
I bet you I don't.
I bet it ends up being fascinating and you don't watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like.
So you're excited about this?
No, I'm just saying it's interesting. The technology.
Yeah, I mean the technology is wild, but
so are those drone wars.
Yeah, it's not appealing to me.
Well, did you see what they're doing? What's this something song? Big golf course.
Stream Song.
Stream Song. Did you see the course that they're adding?
No.
19-hole course, and it's for the future. Not for the traditionalists, but the future of golf. Each hole has a variety of, I think, like 10 tee boxes where you can play it. It's 19-hole course. You can play a 6-hole loop, a 12-hole loop, or all 19. And it's designed, there's no par system for this. And if it's like the three of us are playing, the design of the game is if you win the hole, you decide which tee we play the next hole.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I play some games similar to that.
You flip on the first and then move on through that. And it's, they got 3 traditional courses there.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful course. They're building it there. And
it's built for games, basically.
I read it at the Athletic. And the game is there's no par, to score. You're just playing with your buddies there. And say Brown won the hole, we go to hole 2. And then you would say, okay, we're going to play this hole at 98 yards, or we're going to play it at 220 yards.
There'll be some money lost on that course, buddy.
Yeah,
probably be some fights.
Where is that?
It's not too far from Tampa. In fact, had the weather been better, I was going to try to play it when we were down there for Alabama and Clemson in Tampa, but I had looked ahead at the forecast, and if you remember, we had to leave early because of ice storms here. And I knew it was going to be very cold and windy, so I passed. I kind of regret passing now.
The coldest Tampa event I've ever been to.
Oh, it was miserable. You remember how bad the weather was the whole time we were down there.
Yeah, rainy and cold.
I was glad I missed multiple flights. Didn't make it down.
You did not make it down. You did not miss much.
I know.
I'll go ahead and tell you.
Our friends at Simpio bringing you this part of the show. Tell us about Simpio LT.
I missed a pick play, didn't I, Dunaway?
You did.
A rub route.
Simpio, one of the fastest growing companies in the Southeast. Simpio is going to take care of the BS in every single office. When your business joins Simpio, they take care of the 4 pillars: compliance, HR, payroll, benefits. On average, Simpio is saving companies of all industries over 18% net of their fees. You can join Simpio any time of year. With that being said, there's no annual contract. Also a 99% retention rate. Call 205-635-7467 or Simpio.com.
Unlocked with Fox Sports' Brock Heward and Lance Taylor weekly at Disrupt the Media on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
What would happen if Santa came down your chimney and discovered fire damage in your home? What if he came down the chimney and discovered a wet floor? Santa's elves can't clean it up. You would have a lot of unhappy children Christmas morning. If that happens, contact DryTech Water Restoration immediately and make sure your children have a Merry Christmas. DryTech can clean up the mess and get in touch with your insurance company. Call DryTech 205-637-0143 and make sure your holidays are safe and happy. Happy holidays to all from DryTech Water Restoration.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Bromberg's part of the show today. Always a good time of year to know our friends at Bromberg's, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got the Jude Francis Jewelry Trunk Show going on right now at the Summit. That's today. Tomorrow it's going to be at the Mountain Brook location. You can enjoy bubbly and bites while viewing the new jewelry from the Jude Francis 2023 Fall Collection, featuring colorful gemstones, sparkling diamonds, and Jude's signature brushed finish. Jude Francis Jewelry combines classic elegance with an on-trend style. Again, it's going on right now at the Summit location and tomorrow at the Mountain Brook locations of Bromberg's. For more information, brombergs.com.
Listen, there were some times at our old employer I didn't turn in an expense report because I didn't think I'd get paid for it.
Okay.
There are sometimes up here I haven't turned in an expense report because we own the company and it's such a small amount. I figured,
Right. So it's coming out of your pocket eventually either way. Yeah.
Right? But Connor Stallions, according to reports, did not, in his 17 months with the program, never once turned in an expense report for any of his travels or excursions.
Again,
that's what we call living off the grid.
Michigan did this the right way.
They did.
I mean, they did it the right way, but they still got caught.
Yeah, but I'm just
But
telling
it's not
you,
going to come back to Jim Harbaugh.
that's a red flag, though, isn't it? That this guy worked for you
Oh,
and
yeah,
traveled
100% it
and
is.
never
Yeah,
turned in an expense
100%.
report.
Unless Michigan takes, which Dan Wetzel said yesterday, the angle on this guy went rogue and he was working for himself.
And I think a former Marine probably knows at some point when the mission fails, I'm expendable, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, that's the way a Marine would work. So I think Connor Stallions probably knew this all along. If the mission fails, I'm going to become expendable. And I'm going to have to pretend like, oh, this was my idea. I went rogue. That's why I wasn't turning in expense reports. I didn't want them to know where I was. You know, all those things. So,
Speaking of staying off the grid, if you're paying attention, Dan Orlovsky in a second, by the way, staying off the grid, I sort of love the way Shohei Ohtani and his folks are approaching this free agency. They may take the $500 million long-term deal. He says he's okay discussing short-term deal and get free agency again in his career. But he says, quote, through a translator, quote, I will punish any team that leaks information about our meetings.
What's he going to do, kill somebody?
He's going to hold it against them if they leak the information that, say, the Dodgers are the odds-on favorite to get it.
Yeah.
And
It'd be an upset if they don't, I think.
But if you end up, if the Dodgers let it leak out there, Ohtani, if he's a man of his word, says he's going to hold it against franchises who leak information.
You know what I do? If I'm the Giants or the Padres, I try to get all that information I can and I leak it out to people on the agreement that you make it look like it came from the Dodgers. I mean, seriously, why would you not do that? Like, if I'm the Giants guy,
That's a great point. You go covert.
Yeah, I go covert. I call up. Here's what I do. I call Buster or Tim Kirkchin or any of these Jason Starkey, these baseball guys, and I say, hey, look, I'm just doing you a solid. The Dodgers are blabbing all over Major League. I don't know if you've heard, but this is what the Dodgers are telling me. And now you got to keep my name out of this, Buster. You can link it back to the Dodgers, but you got to keep my name out of it.
I think that's the last thing the Dodgers are going to do, though.
Well, I would think so, too, but I would muddy those waters as much as I could if I'm the Giants or the Padres.
They expect a decision before December 4th. They will not draw this out like Bryce Harper.
All right, let's go to our man, Dan Orlovsky. He joins us from ESPN each week, and he does so courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Don't forget code next round right now at MyBookie.ag. And when you make that initial sign-on, they're going to do a 50% sign-on match up to $1,000 when you use code next round at MyBookie.ag. What is up, Dan? How are you today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, we're doing awesome. We are getting a matchup that you don't often get in the regular season when it looks like two teams that have been in a Super Bowl together and could be right back there with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Who do you think has the edge in this one this week, Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I still think Kansas City, one, at home matters, especially with them in Arrowhead. Two, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes 5-0 together coming off of bye weeks, the extra time to prepare, all that stuff. If we look at weakness of Kansas City is that second receiver option, mainly a really reliable person outside of Travis. But then you look at Philadelphia's weakness and you go coverage right now. They're trying to figure out who's going to be kind of their nickel corner. So that bodes well when you have the quarterback of Patrick, like advantage Kansas City. I do think it's going to be interesting. Like, can Kansas City, who loves to play with lighter personnel defensively, handle Philadelphia's, just physical run game? What's Jalen's knee health like? So great game. Obviously, the Super Bowl rematch with two of the better teams in the league, but I think that just because of the bye for Kansas City and Patrick together and at home, I lean them a little bit.
Okay, before we get into tonight's game, tell your host there, Greenberg, that 99% of his audience don't know what red bottom shoes are, and for him to have to throw up his Christian Louis Vuittons to show off, I spent $1,000 on these shoes when you're arguing with Damian Woody, he's trying a little too hard, in my opinion.
You've been the face of ESPN for 25 years, Green. Everyone knows you're wealthy,
right?
Also, $1,000 shoes are one of the things that blow my mind in the world, because if we're just looking at why shoes were ever originally created, it was to keep dirt off of our feet mainly. And that means hey, take this $1,000 and just get dirt and junk all over it. So he's got a lot of money though.
Yeah. So we're seeing.
I learned about those red bottoms though. Sex in the City is where I did, not from Greenberg,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Might would have kept that one to myself.
Yeah. This is, by the way, this is our Greenberg right here, without the money. Okay, so
poor man Greenberg. That's
so
me.
tonight is probably the best Thursday night matchup we've seen, and both these teams coming off really weird losses. C.J. Stroud's playing out of his mind. D'Amico Ryan's doing a great job at Houston, but still, you would have expected Cincinnati to win that game, and then Baltimore blows not one but two double-digit leads. This is a must-win for Cincinnati. On the other hand, if Baltimore wins this game, boy, they stretch that lead.
Yeah, I think tonight's winner wins the division. Obviously, with Cleveland and the quarterback questions, Pittsburgh, I think at some point the lack of offense in the first three quarters matches up or catches up to them, while their defense is amazing. Cincinnati, I look at Cincinnati in that game last week because, yes, it's a bad loss in many ways, and credit Houston 100%, but they lost that game for two reasons. One, they tackled terribly on defense. And then two, Joe Burrow threw two really uncharacteristic interceptions. I would say the one interception he threw when he was on the run might be one of the worst plays I've seen him make as a pro. I don't expect that to happen certainly tonight, nor much moving forward. So I have a lot of faith still in who Cincinnati is, the style that they've been playing over the last 4 or 5 weeks football-wise. For Baltimore, I still have some questions about. I think they're a really good football team. Both those things for me could be true. Really good football team, but one, they still have not played in it. Joe is by far going to be the best quarterback that they have played against. No T. Higgins, I get all that, but they haven't played one of those elite quarterbacks. So I want to see how good that defense actually is. And then this defense in Baltimore has given up so many big pass plays late in games. That was the story last week. It was the story versus Pittsburgh. It was the story versus Indy. So they've got to figure that out in a fast way if they're going to try to hold on to these leads.
By the way, I've never claimed to be a major market media person. I am a cover band, and sometimes I do go mentally and cover some Mike Greenberg songs. So I do feel like I occasionally go Greenberg on you guys. So Kyler Murray, are the Cardinals playing Kyler Murray for them or to shop him around? Because I liked his return last week.
Yeah, Kyler looked great. One, he didn't look like a guy who just came off ACL surgery, and then two, hadn't played in a year. I mean, athletically he was there, but the way he threw the ball into tight coverage or tight windows was wildly impressive. I don't know, because part of me sits there and goes, there's just not a lot of athletes and dynamic talents like Kyler walking around planet Earth. And some of the issues that he may have had attached to Cliff Kingsbury potentially, or some of that offense that he was under, his contract extension that he obviously publicly attention last year with the whole addendum to it, I don't believe kicks in till next year. So if you're Arizona, moving on from Kyler, I think is going to cost you a ton of dead money, I think. And then also, if you're trading for him, you're trading for a really big contract that none of it has been kind of worn by the Arizona Cardinals. So, I don't know. I really don't know exactly kind of what the plan is, because if Kyler plays the rest of the year like he did on Sunday, it's going to be hard to justify not keeping him.
Dan Orlovsky is with us, the ESPN NFL analyst with us each week, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. 50% sign-on match up to $1,000 at MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Josh Dobbs has been an incredible story through 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Can he keep this up, Dan? I mean, does he have staying power? Because all of a sudden, here's Minnesota right in the middle of the playoff mix with him.
Yeah, I think he can. I think number one, Ryan, he's done the one thing that is like physically outside of throwing the ball is the most important part in Kevin O'Connell's offense. It is tying his feet to where and when to throw. And he's got a really good grasp of that. Two, he's done this without Justin Jefferson. And per reports, Justin is trending on coming back. So you're talking about a guy that has gone and found ways to play winning football without the best player on the team. And third part is this defense has started to play really good under Brian Flores. So, I was one of those people like Minnesota, you got to get one of those early quarterbacks and don't do this. And now I'm sitting here going, no, I was wrong. I'm not sitting here telling anybody that they're the cream of the crop in the NFC, but I think they can at least get themselves back into the picture if he continues to play that way, and I expect them to.
Yeah, I do love the fact, though, that in game 2, he's like, I got T.J. Hawkinson out there. I think I'll throw it to him 11 times. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Thought.
Yeah.
What a thought. Throw the ball to the good players, Buffalo.
We were talking about Mac Jones earlier, and I know you guys were discussing him this morning, and Gronk's comments were harsh. They might be true, but they were really harsh. And if you would have told us watching him in 2020, I mean, his numbers were right there with Burrow's numbers in 2019 en route to winning a national championship. And in 21, he had a good rookie campaign. They went to the postseason, kind of hit that wall towards the end of the season. But if you would have told me from 21 to where he is right now, it blows me away with the regression of Mac Jones. Do you think he pulls out of this slump? And do you think it's with New England, or do you think he ultimately ends up with another organization?
Certainly not this year, no. And it's hard to see it in New England because New England's roster is really bad. I mean, I said this morning. Two things could be true: that New England has absolutely failed Mac Jones. It's a terrible situation ever since his rookie year, and he hasn't fixed his own stuff that has really been responsible to handle when it comes to his mechanics, mainly his feet. New England's offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL of the last 3 or 4 years. And receiver-wise, when it comes to guys getting open, one of the worst in the NFL in the last 3 years. So that's an awful place for any quarterback to be. Can I see him pull? Yeah, I still think Mac could be a good NFL quarterback. But he's got to fix his own stuff. I can't absolve him of that totally. It's hard for me to think that it's going to be in New England because year 4 of a rookie quarterback decision-making time, and that roster is still so depleted. New England's a complete rebuild. Burn it down, complete rebuild. So I could see him being a good quarterback in the NFL. I just don't. It's not likely for me in New England.
Statistically, Brock Purdy's having a great season, no doubt. And Kyle Shanahan, that's who you want to play for if you're a quarterback. If Mac Jones would have gone to San Francisco, how different is his career?
Oh, gosh, vastly. We would be talking about Mac Jones, very similar to the way that we're talking about Brock Purdy. I really think that's not I got a ton of heat earlier in the season because I said Mac would be playing the same way Brock is. I honestly believe that. I think Mac would be performing at a relatively similar level as Brock Purdy. I don't know if he would be changing the offense the way that Brock has, but there's, again, not a knock on Brock. But I just, if you asked me, and again, Mac's got to get his feet together, but if you asked me, hey, can he get through progressions? Everyone says no. Guys, watch. There's tons of video evidence that he does. Can he be accurate? Yep. Can he throw with anticipation? Yep. Can he throw a touch? Yep. Can he drive it when he needs? So there's so much evidence of what the player is capable of that I think it would be a vastly different situation.
If you could change one NFL rule, what would it be? For me, it's pass interference being a spot foul. It changes the end of the game so many times. What would it be for you?
Yeah, I think every more than 5-yard flag should be reviewable with the sky cam. I get it, offsides, false start, all that stuff, but the Super Bowl, I think, is different if we do the holding penalty. I know that's only 5, but maybe that one. Roughing the passer changes games, 15-yard flags. So I think that would be a rule that I would change with the sky judge.
It was a pass interference against Buffalo. I was happy to see it. I don't know if that's the one you're referencing there at the end of the game.
It was, yes.
Okay, that was a clear pass interference.
Also, the touchback rule. Like if I'm an offensive player and I fumble the ball at the 1-inch yard line and it goes out of the back of the end zone, I hate that rule. But we don't know who would, if we were in the 40-yard line, we don't know who would recover it. But to automatically say that the offense wouldn't I hate that one.
It has never made sense to me. That is the weirdest rule in all of sports to me. And one of the most penalizing. Dan Orlovsky, ESPN, see him all weekend long, college football on ABC and NFL on ESPN. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right, buddy. Take care. I think that's the right day. I'll confirm with Dan, but he is on early next week because of Thanksgiving. Dan with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, as always, presented by MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get a 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000. That is their thank you for signing on. And you can play that money right away at MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND.
We'll get to our spotlight here in just a second, Rockstar, in this segment. I want to remind you that this show is being brought to you this hour by our friends at Champy's world-famous fried chicken. I tried something different. It was the same item, but I did it differently yesterday. I went by there and picked up some fried chicken as I was down with our friends at Precision Sports in Alabaster. And after I had my MRI, I jumped over to Sterling's place at Champy's Chicken. And I was getting some chicken to go, take it back to the wife and me. We're going to enjoy a nice meal. And so while I'm waiting for them to cook it to order, I did the tamales. I went on and got all three of them out of their husk, set that to the side, and then I took the coleslaw and I just dumped it on top of it. And then I ate it as like a coleslaw tamale
like that's
salad.
So good. But
by the way,
that's
delicious. Delicious.
Did somebody ask you to clean their table for them? They think you work there? Sir, can I get some more tea?
Man, that guy must be post-MRI.
You can try out Sterling and Champy's Chicken any way you want to try it right there, including those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, cooked to order Southern fried chicken. My wife even said it again last night. She goes, every time you bring me Champy's, it is the best chicken I've ever tasted.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and she was just finishing a final exam at Duke yesterday online when I brought her some 2 thighs. Brought her a couple of thighs, and she was tickled to death. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Interesting, you guys talking about Mac Jones there, and there seems to be, some joy and some love and hate of Mac Jones over in the MyBookie chat room over there. I just...
Mac Jones with the offensive line and the weapons at San Francisco, he would be better than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, the thing that worries me is I think he's pouted a lot. I don't think he has handled this well.
Yep. This year has been the worst.
Yeah, he's had some dirty plays. I mean, he got labeled as a dirty player for tripping guys and stuff like that. So some of the way, and I know it's a difficult situation to handle, but some of the way he handles it worries me just a little bit if I'm another team looking at him.
Yeah, I think he's hurt his image.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that.
And I will tell you, I usually don't believe some of these reports that come out about he's lost the locker room and all of that. But the way he was almost in tears or looked like he had been crying at the news conference last week, I could see that somebody got in his face or something, that maybe it was a little bit of an altercation.
I mean, I never thought we would see the Patriots under Belichick be a dumpster fire, but that's exactly what they are.
100% that, yeah.
Can't get here fast enough the end of the season for the New England Patriots.
Yeah. And we thought that division was going to be so good. Buffalo has been hugely disappointing. The Jets lost Aaron Rodgers. They probably played better than they should without Aaron Rodgers, but they lost him.
But they still, you know how long it's been since they scored a touchdown?
No telling.
Yeah, I think it's 11 quarters now.
Yeah, the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots have been a dumpster fire. The Dolphins can't beat anybody good. They pound bad teams, can't beat good teams. I mean, it's been a weird division.
Let's do the spotlight today. It is brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop wants to remind you to order those turkeys. They're taking reservations right now. I ordered mine just a couple of days ago from Jim and the fine folks there. Those turkeys, some of the best out there. They will run out, though, so you can order the sides that feed 8 to 10 people. They're made in-house. They've got a great selection of desserts, including pies and cakes. Also, fine wine selection to pair with your turkey. For more information, stop into one of those 2 locations, the original in Cabo Heights, 1 Greystone Highway 119. Rare quality, well-done service, New York Butcher Shop.
The College Football Spotlight.
Stock up, stock down. college football stock report.
Brownie, start us off, man.
I'm going to go stock up Rhett Lashley, and I know there are people here in this state that don't have the best opinion of him because of his time at Auburn.
I've always loved him.
I wasn't pointing at you, Dunaway.
There are people who dislike him?
Yes. I mean, there are people I'm not saying they dislike him, but they don't think he's a great coach because of his time with Gus at Auburn. And
I just figured Gus was calling the bad place.
That's what Gus told you. So that was kind of a messy deal for him. But SMU's really good this year, and he's doing it with a quarterback he's brought in and developed. It's not like he went out and got some sort of hotshot transfer coming in. They're 8-2. They're top 10 in the nation of both scoring offense, scoring defense.
Texas A&M?
No. That'd be way too big of a job for Rhett Lashley.
Way too big.
Yeah, I do wonder, though, if he might get some looks from some other places. SMU's a good gig, though. Yeah. It'd have to be a really good job.
Yeah, I think he would. I don't.
He's going to the ACC.
I mean, he would take Mississippi State, but I think he would think about it.
I do too. SMU's a good, but I think his stock is up.
I don't know if I'd leave SMU. I mean, I got money.
No. That's what I'm saying. I think it would take it
now.
now. You would if A&M offered you, but I don't think A&M would.
But
they would not get to Rhett Lashley.
I'm not leaving SMU for Mississippi State.
Probably not.
In this NIL world.
Luke Fickell's stock is down 5-5. They have lost 4 of their last 5. It has been a terribly disappointing product at Wisconsin.
Yeah. By the way, Kevin asking, does New York Butcher Shop do chicken and dressing?
Probably.
Oh, they'll do whatever you want.
I'm sure Jim will do that for you. Go in and talk to him. He's a nice guy. Tell him you love the next round.
Great guy. He'll work on it for you. What's you?
I don't have hands
can't
right
draw
now.
one-handed, yeah.
Cody Schrader, Missouri running back, is going to be stock up. Look, he's gone. If you've been watching Missouri football, keep it up. He's gone over 100 yards in 6 games. But this past week, goes over 200 on the ground, 100 receiving.
Against Tennessee. It was a ranked versus ranked game.
And this is a guy, talking to Luke and Bill on Spit and Luke's, they didn't have this guy ranked coming out of high school. I think he signed JUCO, then transferred over to Missouri, and he's just one of those gamers. And he's playing his ass off right now for Eli Drinkwitz. He has been fantastic, but he is finally on the radar for a lot of people. And stock down, I know they've won every game this season, and they've won these last 3 games, but Washington's defense has given up 103 points over the last 3 weeks, and that sooner or later, probably Saturday night, is going to get them beat. It's not Michael Penix's fault.
No, it is not. He's playing well, but their defense has been bad 3 straight weeks.
On my big board of everything over here, the Huskies, unbeaten, but underdogs in Corvallis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that flipped around. It opened. They were, I think, a 2-point favorite when it opened.
2.5-point dog now.
It's flipped all the way around.
They're betting underdogs. So even if Oregon State beats Washington, technically it's not an upset, right?
Oh, old Jimmy Lamb would have been all over Washington.
Why would I not take Washington right now?
Points?
Why would I not take Washington
Undefeated
right
Washington, and I'm catching points?
Michael Penix, a Heisman Trophy winner.
The Heat are playing the Pacers and I'm getting points?
By the way, off of what Brown said, I think he saw me right, AAC.
I did, yeah.
Stock up
I did mine
AAC.
first.
SMU, Tulane, UTSA tied for the lead. Memphis, who plays SMU this weekend, 5-1. Their only loss, was it to UAB? UAB get them?
Yeah.
In the Battle of the Bones?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No. Memphis won that game. No,
Okay.
Memphis won that game.
So those are the 4 teams in contention. Those 3 are in first place, and most people believe that this is the league that'll give you the group of 5 in New Year's 6 bowl team there. Texas A&M stock down, not because they fired their coach Jimbo Fisher, not because they're losing, but I think we're going to start picking apart the program a little bit over these next few days, and I don't think it'll be a great time for A&M where we will sit here going, is he going to really take the A&M job? Will he take the A&M job? Because they're going to want some big people.
I think anybody that is offered that job will take it.
Anybody. Give me an example.
I mean, you give me an example.
You give me an example, and we'll tell you if they will. You just
Ryan
start
Day.
Well, okay, Jim, be realistic here.
Okay.
I mean, guys that currently have elite program jobs, no. But outside of that, anybody, including, and we hadn't been mentioned, Urban Meyer would take this job immediately.
Take Sark, Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban, and Kirby Smart off the table. Now go.
I don't know who else is good that's coaching right now.
Well, I mean, you got some guy. I mean, Lincoln Riley probably off the table.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an elite Power 5 job right now, I'm saying anybody else.
Lanning
is
said no.
Lanning said no in a press conference. That's a huge difference. Yes,
DeBoer
doing a heartbeat.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That is our spotlight today, brought to you there by our friends at New York Butcher Shop, who will apparently cook chicken and dressing if you ask them. When we come back, we've got trash today, and still to come, Trent Dilfer. He'll be with us at 11:45 right here on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
The Next Round golf cart is back and is presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Cart for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel, where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Legendary comedian James Gregory back at the Comedy Club Stardome, coming up this weekend. One show Friday and matinee show on Saturday at 4 and one at 6:30. Stardome.com for more information. He is one of the greatest, cleanest comics of all time, storytelling at its finest. For decades, the unforgettable character of veteran comedian James Gregory has stood grinning, his shirt untucked, his arms outstretched. Carefree welcome to down-home hilarious comedy experience. Again, 444-0008 or stardome.com. It's James Gregory.
Trash in a second. Our show being brought to you in part by A+, the folks that changed Brown's house forever.
They did, Jimmy D. I will tell you about A+ Tile Home Remodeling. That is my guy, Brad Bell. So when we bought our house back in 2015, you were taking a look from Scotty at the way our master bath looked, and we did not like it. It was not what we wanted. We liked darker tones, wanted it more updated. So my wife scoured the internet and looked for the right person to do the job. She found Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Now, I'm glad she did, because we gave him our vision, and he did it exactly to our vision. We love it. Everything about it we love. You can do the same thing. Listen, when you go to sell your house, Master Bath and Kitchen is where you're going to make your money back. Master Bath and Kitchen. Remember that. Brad specializes in those things. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758. He is Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Lance liked the look of my bathroom so much, he said, I want to use Brad too. So he did. You could see from Lance's, it was the exact opposite. It went from darker to lighter. But updated, looks great. He had great work there too. Master Bath and Kitchen. It's where you get your money back when you use Brad Bell. 205-422-1758. I always say, many people do this. If you missed anything here, just reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with my man, Brad Bell.
All right. Before we get to trash, two things. One, the owners of Major League Baseball greenlight the A's move to Las Vegas. Always the odd part, though, is it doesn't happen until 2025. So we get that awkward
That won't be
last
awkward,
year in
yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah.
They should just go ahead and play it at the minor league park one year.
Are they still going to be the A's?
I don't know.
They don't know
Yeah,
that
I
yet?
think so. I think that uniform,
Color scheme, everything?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
it's way too iconic.
And I mentioned the WWE deal with the Big 12. More details on that. The MVP of the Big 12 championship game gets the WWE championship belt as the MVP.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Better than a normal trophy.
I agree.
Trash Time hit the big button rock star.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. So it's that time of year. It's the National Toy Hall of Fame. They're inductees.
We do this every year. Yeah.
Let's see what we have.
We always say, I cannot believe that's not already in the hall.
I have not seen one of these in forever, but fans have pushed the Fisher-Price corn popper
I
into
used
the
to have one.
National Toy Hall of Fame.
Did you have one?
Loved it when I was a kid, if I remember correctly.
Well, you didn't like it as an adult?
Hated it. Hated it when my kids had it.
As a parent,
because they
That's
start pushing
loud.
around and pop, pop, pop.
Yeah,
pop,
loud.
pop, pop, pop.
Yep.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That is the home version of the cowbell from Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Now, I spent a lot of my childhood with one of these that's in this picture.
Cabbage Patch Doll?
What was her name? So the other ones, baseball cards, which it's not a toy.
It's not really a toy.
Cabbage Patch Kids and Nerf foam toys.
Yeah.
The Hall announced on Friday.
Now,
The Nerf ball I spent my childhood
Yeah.
with. Now, I had no friends, but I've told you this before.
Right.
I had an imitation college in Alabaster that I played Nerf football by myself in the front yard, and what I built was the Pine Bowl, and it was the University of South Central Alabama, the Rockets.
There's no way you had a regular Nerf. They had that poor version of Nerf, too. I forgot what it was called.
Murph.
Yeah.
Murph. No, but I had a real Nerf, and I would throw it up in the air and go catch it myself, occasionally diving catches and replays. But then I had a Nerf basketball goal, 2 of them at each end downstairs in my grandparents'
Play
house.
full court by yourself?
And I played full court by myself.
course you would.
In an entire professional league that I created, the National Basketball League.
Would you be okay?
New York Empires, Montana
Yeah.
Sky. I can still remember some of the franchises.
Rocky's seen the movie. I've seen it a bunch. I Am Legend with Will Smith. So basically, he thinks he's the last man on the planet. Would you be okay with that?
I'd survive for a while. Yeah, until something ate me.
How much would he complain about, though?
Oh, my God, just to himself.
Yeah.
Tulsa Oilers. I
Here's
remember
the
some of
obvious omission, though, from the National Toy Hall of Fame. Barbie's boyfriend, Ken.
Ken's not in?
He's never been in?
This was a big year for Barbie and Ken.
Didn't have
he
enough
was
Barbie eyes.
left out despite having a huge year and a hit song due to the portrayal of Ryan Gosling in the summer blockbuster Barbie.
It seems like it had been a good year for Ken to go in.
Yeah, I would have thought so, too.
When I was a kid, the Cabbage Patch Doll, I just remember the craze for those. Like,
people were beating down doors of department stores.
Yeah, they were. And I remember, too, like, the super rich kids, they would go to the Cabbage Patch plant and you could pick it out.
That's
and
right.
like,
Watch it be born.
Yeah, they'd have a birthing and crap like that.
So
yeah.
Underneath the lettuce.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Leaf,
That's
what-
called crowning. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're dilated to a 6. Congratulations.
Now, the winners will be on permanent display at the National Toy Hall of Fame, which is located inside the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. Since 1998, dozens of toys have been inducted, including ones as humble. This would have been one of your toys back in the day, the cardboard box. As ancient as chess and as influential on pop culture as the Barbie doll. That's so stupid having a freaking... I mean, I guess I made a Ford out of a cardboard box as a kid.
Cardboard box was a rocket ship for me, man. You get in there and you'd space travel.
Yeah.
It was always Apollo 13, though. It was
Where
never
you going,
a smooth
Jim?
flight.
It wasn't really Apollo 13. That's so done away.
Crazy. What is happening here?
Will Jim make it back?
Where are you going, little Jimmy? Friendship Planet. Okay, buddy.
So a Texas man, I hope you got pictures of this, still shot track. A Texas man has been arrested after he stole a game camera that continued to take live photos of him without his knowledge. Now, the Live Oak Police
Good looking
Department.
Oh, my.
How many kills do you think he's got on his list?
My gosh.
There was another picture I couldn't capture, but behind him there is his sleeping partner. His woman is behind him in the bed. That's a bedroom.
Now, is she gagged and cuffed?
You can't tell. She is completely covered, which is, I think, a good thing.
Now, the Live Oak Police Department shared several photos taken by the man on Facebook dated November 8th. Police say the man is seen in the photos knowingly stole the city-owned camera. Remarkably, the camera is still sending images to the police department, and this guy has no idea. And the man was found and arrested, but his identity has not been shared.
Yeah, chances are it's somewhere on his skin. His identity is.
That's my favorite. That's a good tattoo.
Yeah. The chick.
Oh, her mouth's open, right?
Yeah,
so she's
surprised.
shocked.
She's shocked that she's on camera.
She's surprised.
By the way, when he goes to prison, he might want to mix in some salads.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Get some sit-ups in.
I mean, my goodness.
Not much definition there.
Yeah.
I would tell you that he looks like he goes to his tattoo artist and she says, "What do you want this week?" And he says, "I don't care. Surprise me."
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
So Sarah Vazekis and her partner Robert Clark were arrested Friday night after having, hate to say this, we've got a minor.
Yeah.
Let's
We've got
just
young
say
register in here.
negotiations.
He says go ahead and go with it. They were arrested after having intercourse on public property in Florida, during which they were fully nude with juveniles present nearby. Now, after the couple was arrested, Vazekis reportedly told police it's, quote, always a dream of mine to have sex in public. Meanwhile, Clark showed zero remorse regarding the incident.
Which one's Clark? The guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The other one's Lewis.
Yeah.
She looks like the daylights got popped out.
She's about to cry, and you're right. He is completely unmoved by this.
How would you describe yourself? Stoic.
I mean, he is.
Hey, a witness reported describing the scene as, quote, crack to sack going to town.
That's a headline you won't see in the New York Post.
I hope that person gets called to testify.
Maybe on Monday headlines, though.
Yeah. That is, they look familiar. I mean,
oh, really? You think you know her?
No, she looks like somebody that we used to work with's wife a little bit.
Yeah. There's a good chance he looks like he runs a park and rec somewhere, doesn't he?
Potentially.
He looks like he'd have a landscaping crew.
Yeah.
Guillermo, get on that weed eater.
Yeah.
I'll be back in an hour.
Put down that gaming camera.
Wow.
37-year-old man with an all-gas, no-brakes tattoo ended a series of car burglaries with a crash during a police chase on Monday.
Oh,
my gosh.
It's kind of stuff you don't get on.
Y'all jumping to conclusions.
This guy's rougher than the guy in the bedroom.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff you don't get on Good Day, Alabama.
The tattoo's on his throat. No
all
gas.
no brakes. Yeah. Hey, the arrest did not go smoothly, according to his forehead.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, if I told you that was the first head implant on another body, you would
I
not be
can
shocked by that.
What the hell happened to Uncle Fester?
No, if you walked in a club and that guy's in there, you turn around and walk out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
LT, that club we walked in Dallas that time that we walked in and walked straight out.
Yeah.
That guy would have had me running out.
Authorities were chasing Timothy Hogue, you see here, 37 years old. He was speeding in a 2006 Cadillac CTS when he crashed.
Without a helmet?
Now, his passenger, Rebecca Kozub, 31, was
he has a
also
mate?
suspected of car burglaries. He had a mate with him, Hogue is facing charges of burglary of an unoccupied conveyance with a enhancement of crossing county lines. He also had meth. He had drug paraphernalia. And, he resisted arrest, they said, without violence.
I don't know about that.
Is his goatee thing at the bottom, is it offset?
It
like
is.
I believe it might have got scraped in the battle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would call this an organized guy, though.
Nah, I don't think he's real
Does he
concerned
have
about appearance.
does he have real eyebrows, or are they drawn on?
No, there's tattoos above the eyebrows. I just don't know what they are.
There's a tattoo. Yeah. There'll soon be a teardrop tattoo. Trust me.
Chances this guy's walking the earth in 30 years?
0. Yeah, not a chance.
That would go 0.
He's all gas, man.
No brakes.
And finally, TikToker Dustin Anderson made a video expressing his frustration. It sparked an interesting discussion online.
Again, perfectly happy in my marriage.
Beautiful eyes.
But after everybody we've seen so far,
best looking
this
person,
guy is
no doubt.
stunning, isn't he?
No doubt. Best looking person on
but
trash
he
today.
looks like a cross between Luke Perry
Nick
or
Offerman.
90210. There's a little Nick Offerman, and there's a little
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, and Doogie Howser.
I was going to say Hugh Laurie.
Doogie Howser's a good call. Now, if this guy's about to sell me some kind of grooming product about hair from our friends at Manscaped,
he's going to sign you. I like this guy. You know why? I'm a big fan.
Okay.
He's got a rake.
He's got a rake.
He doesn't have a leaf blower.
Yeah.
Hey, and you guys tell me right now on the fly, do I come to Bud Light game night at Top Golf, or do I go to the HOA meeting and get content on the leaf blower.
Make it a Bud Light poll question. Yeah. Should he be at Bud Light game night or be at his neighborhood HOA?
Because it starts at 7 o'clock.
A meeting.
Starts at 7. Anyway, this guy, Dustin Anderson, was upset with something. And he said it used to be if you give somebody a tip, they gave exceptional service. When was the last time you got exceptional service anywhere? And a tip is just expected. Quote, they made food, you carried it to my table, you got me a Diet Coke, thank you, that was your job, you don't get 25% because you did your job. I'm not the bad guy here, I'm just not. If you own a restaurant, just tell me what it costs. I don't want people to go hungry. What does it cost for me to get my food? Also have the wait staff, doesn't have to join the cartel or some Lord of Flies, Oliver Twist stuff. I want people to be taken care of, just tell me what it costs. Now, people agreed and chimed in with their opinion. They said we need to turn to the European model, pay for work, no tipping involved. I disagree with that. I think you got to use common sense in this. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot.
But in Europe, they give the wait staff
they pay them
wages.
They pay them a wage, not just on tips.
I get that, but also they're paying for these services like the counter service. They're upcharging you on that too. Yeah. They said, look, I don't get tipped for being an ER nurse and saving your life. So this is a
great
little
argument. Great argument.
The whole tipping thing has caused entitlement from what it was originally created for.
Yeah.
It has gotten a little out of hand.
It has. Tipflation. We talked about it yesterday. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Hey, buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes under the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with the friends at Mortgage Right who do mortgages the right way. 205-815-9200 or online mortgageright.com/TNR.
And this hour brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, the best chicken anywhere, perfect for your tailgate this weekend, whether you're headed to Tuscaloosa, Jordan Hare, or down to Protective Stadium. It's the great folks with Sterling and the folks at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. When we come back, UAB head coach Trent Dilfer joins the show.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
Are you ready to make this holiday season one to remember? Legacy Credit Union is here to make your dreams come true with their lifestyle loans. Whether you need a little extra cash for gifts or you want to take that unforgettable holiday vacation, Legacy has the right loan for you. With affordable monthly payments, flexible terms, and absolutely no collateral required, Legacy Credit Union is your trusted partner for your stress-free holiday season. Apply in minutes. Go to LegacyCreditUnion.com to get the financial support you need to enjoy the holidays to the fullest. Again, LegacyCreditUnion.com.
Restrictions apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Start your holiday shopping at Timberline Golf Club. On November 20th, just ahead of Black Friday, you can get gift cards which make the perfect gift. No need to worry about size, color, or returns. Plus, you'll get more bang for your buck with a Timberline gift card. You buy a $100 gift card and receive a 10% bonus, making that gift card $110. Buy a $250 gift card, that's an 18% bonus, making the card worth $295. A $500 gift card gets a 25% bonus, making it worth $625. Get your free money from Timberline.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State Map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store, that's nextround.store, The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself, or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store, that's nextround.store.
Time to talk a little UAB football thanks to our friends at Legacy. The holidays are here. I'll tell you ways that Legacy can help you out this holiday season in a second, Brownie.
All right, Coach Dilfer with us now. Trent Dilfer on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome in, Coach. Hope you're doing well today.
Are you afraid to lead the segment with "Let's Talk UAB Football"? You're worried about your viewer numbers?
Come on. No. This is the positive show.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do an entirely positive interview. You think we can do that?
Hey, can we reset it? Do you want to start this over?
I don't know if I can do a totally positive interview right now.
Come on. We got to start it over. We're going to run the drill over with. Go, Brown. Let's talk some UAB football.
Coach Trent Dilfer is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, presented by Legacy, the official credit union of the UAB Blazers. Coach, you're looking great. Health is good. Feeling good. You're looking great right now.
Recruiting buzz, man.
Recruiting
Come
buzz,
on. Yes.
Nice office. You're looking great.
You guys are amazing. You're like my besties in Birmingham.
So
we try.
How important is it to close out this season with a couple of wins against Temple and North Texas and get off to that? I mean, there wasn't a huge expectation. I know you expected a lot more, but year one, when you're making this transition, I don't think UAB fans expected 7, 8, 9 wins. If you can get to 5 and 7, how important is that?
I think it's massively important, regardless of expectations. We have very high standards. I said that from the beginning. I'm not afraid to say we fell short of those. But I also am trying to communicate a message to this team that, every time you have an opportunity to take a rep, it should be the most important rep of your life. If you truly want to get better, if you're desperate for what football brings you, and football brings a lot for these kids. Let's not forget, in this conversation of NIL and all this other stuff, it brings them an education. The best thing that you can get, it gives them team. It gives them something to be part of bigger than themselves. They should be desperate to squeeze the most out of football they can. And they should do the same on game day, all of us. We're in a get-to business, man. We get to coach college football. They get to play college football. We get to play at Protective Stadium, one of the best stadiums in our conference, if not the best. We get to play and represent this great city of Birmingham. I mean, Saturday should be the most important game these boys have ever played in their life. I know it's the most important game I've ever coached in my life or been a part of in my life, because it's the next one. If we start getting that attitude, then we got great things coming. The problem is it's this generation of, and this is coach and player, of monotony, normalcy, not reaching expectations. So there's you're an energy vampire. Instead of let's go, let's wake up in the morning, have the hair on your arm stand up, because we get to do this. And if we can play that way, then we're a much better team than our record says we are.
How can you gauge that when you're talking to recruits? Because those are the people you want to bring into your program, right? Forget about the stars. That's the kind of person you want wired in your program. So how do you go about gauging that when you're talking and meeting people?
Well, number one, it's identifying people that are like-minded. I think too often recruiting is about height, weight, speed, stars, all that stuff. Now, talent is absolutely important. I think I know a little bit about talent, played with some of the most talented players that have ever lived. But I'll also tell you this, some of those guys weren't height, weight, speed guys. Some of those guys were soul guys. They had a mindset, a mentality, a soul to them that allowed them to reach their potential and be the best they can be. They wanted to be coached hard. They wanted to be challenged. They wanted to have high standards. They wanted to perform off the field, knowing creating habits off the field would go onto the field. And I'm trying to identify people that have that kind of mindset. We call it the fire breather forge. We're looking for guys with a certain competitive temperament. We're looking for guys with grit. We're looking for guys that I call trustable. That's trustworthy and accountable. So we're looking for a very specific type of player that also has an athletic index that we feel that can maximize his potential. So as we're talking to these players, I think they gravitate towards our program because I'm speaking their language. I'm saying, hey, are you signing up to doing hard things for the next 5 years? Hey, you want to go to class? Because we're not asking you to go to class. You want to push yourself off the field? You want to serve our community? You want to do all these things? Because if you don't, this probably isn't the place for you. You should probably go some other place that's going to coddle you and let you be entitled. Because here you're going to have to work for everything you get. You're going to have to earn it. We've had 16 true freshmen earn it. because they took that mindset into UAB football and said, no, I'm going to prove myself on and off the field, and I'm going to earn playing time as a 17-year-old, as an 18-year-old against the University of flipping Georgia in Athens. So we have a group that has that mindset, but I want to bring in another group that has that mindset. We start stacking those together, then the standard will be reached every single minute of every single day.
How much, as a coach of an elite program in Nashville, how much did you learn on the recruiting of what worked and what didn't work from watching elite college coaches come in and recruit your guys?
Amen. Logos win, ultimately.
Yeah.
Logos are the most dominant thing in recruiting. If you're at Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn, whatever, take the top 10, whatever they are, they're always going to win. But then you have that next group that doesn't have the logo opportunity. I think being honest with them, just being totally truthful with them and their parents on what they can expect if they become a Blazer or a Tiger or whatever. Instead of trying to sell them a bill of goods that isn't true, to be able to sit there and say, hey, you're not going to have some of the amenities that you would have other places. But you are going to be told the truth. You are going to be loved. You are going to be held accountable for the stuff off the field. You are going to have an opportunity to compete for a job at a young age, because that's what we do. We play young people. We want to develop them. You're going to have a place to come talk about your girlfriend issues, your parent issues, whatever they are. A parent first, coach second. Being honest with them has really been successful, because that's really what they're looking for. Once they get past, okay, I'm not going to play for a logo, then they're looking for a place where they can feel like they're part of something, that the staff, the institution, the ecosystem is in it for them, not for me. We're not institutional centric and we're not coach centric. We're player centric. And unfortunately, a lot of places are coach first or institution first, coach or institution second, player third. We've proven in a short amount of time we are 100% about the player. We want to do everything in our power to help develop him, help him reach his potential on and off the field.
Your opponent this week, Temple, they've had a rough year. Stan Drayton, though, their head coach, he's got an NFL background. How well do you know Stan?
Got to know him a little bit at the meetings. Knew him a little bit in his before his coaching life. Really good man, good coach. They're kind of like us. They found a way to lose instead of finding a way to win.
Yeah.
So, I think they have an incredible quarterback, Kurt Warner's son, EJ, probably the best pure passer. I'm not saying quarterback, best pure passer probably in the Southeast, to be honest with you. Or I'm sorry, on this part of the country. He's an incredible passer. So we have a huge challenge, and they are getting better. That's the other thing too, is like we thought we were getting a lot better until the bump in the road last week. They've gotten significantly better over the last few weeks.
The Broyles Award annually goes to the top assistant in America. For Alex Mortensen to be nominated for it in his first year as a coordinator seems pretty remarkable to me. I know you got to be very proud of what he's done.
I really am. He's a great man. He's a great coach. I said this from the beginning. I don't expect it to have him very long. I felt honored that he was willing to turn down so many other opportunities to coordinate when he was at Alabama. And chose to come here first. He loves the city. I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy that loves Blazer football, loves the city, loves these kids, works tirelessly to help everybody in the building be their best. You couldn't find a better nominee than Alex. And I wish we had won more games because you have a chance to win it. But being nominated is a big deal. And again, I'm humbled and honored that he's been on my staff, my first staff.
I'm kind of a weirdo. I like watching documentaries. I was looking for one the other night, and I came across BS High, Bishop Sycamore. You were in the high school ranks last year. Are you familiar with this story?
A little bit. I think I've heard kind of the fringes of it.
Yeah, you need to check it out. I mean, this dude basically just puts together a ragtag bunch of kids, does it all for himself, and goes out and plays the best of the best, including IMG, and that's where they got exposed. But it's really a fascinating story, and a sad story, too, how he exploited so many kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what, again, and I'm not going to use names here, but it's so common in football at the high school and college level now to use student athletes for your own personal ambition. And maybe I'm fortunate because I've climbed my mountain. I've been to the top. I'm not really ambitious. But this thing was designed to do it for the kid. And that's the one thing I can say here. Our record isn't good, but you can ask all the people around our program, the ones that maybe aren't in it but are around it, that they will tell you without doubt that every day we come in here and it's about the kid. We're searching every single day for ways to help these kids out and on and off the field. And we believe the long tail of that will be a lot of wins. Right now it's not, but we have a bunch of boys in this building that know they're cared for, know they're loved, know that we're doing pouring everything we have into them to help them become great football players, because we do want to win games, but also better husbands and fathers and professionals.
Senior day at Protective Stadium, Temple, 2 o'clock kick for the UAB Blazers. Good luck against the Owls, Coach. Always fun. We appreciate the time.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, take care. Coach Dilfer with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline presented by Legacy.
That's right, and it's the holiday season. And listen, they've got some personal loans if you need them for Christmas presents, holiday travel, or anything else that life throws at you this holiday season. Very affordable payback plans and flexible terms right there. Apply online in minutes at LegacyCreditUnion.com, LegacyCreditUnion.com, and the Legacy credit card as well, 8.9% annual percentage rate, all right there with Legacy. APR is the annual percentage rate. Rates and offers subject to change. See the website for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. By the way, UAB at home tonight in basketball. Alcorn is in town. UAB a 17.5-point favorite to win that game. Andy Kennedy and company coming off a win over Maryland this past Sunday when Eric Gaines finally realized he's the go-to guy, scored 20 for UAB.
Good
so
for
down
him.
at Bartow Arena. By the way, Bartow Arena built in 1988. You ready for these numbers? 436 wins and 107 losses.
That's pretty good.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty good home run for UAB there. Auburn in action tonight in Brooklyn, by the way. Auburn minus 14.5 against Notre Dame. You can watch that one, 8 o'clock on ESPN2.
I wonder what Alex Mortenson's future is. Obviously, he's got a recognizable last name. His father, Chris, has come on this show for years. He's well thought of in football circles. But, I mean, that's a heck of a job he's done with this offense this year, and a Broyles Award nominee.
And I don't know this, but you do the interview with Jacob Zeno every week, and he's played 5 years, but with COVID, I guess he's eligible to come back next year?
Yeah, I don't even know. I lose track. I guess I need to ask him that, though. It's a good
I think
question.
you can stay as long as you want to now.
Is that the way it is?
Just go whenever you want to go.
There are no limits.
Yeah. Bo, you're 33. One more year. Yeah, Bo Nix, your Heisman favorite. Hear the music in the background. Show's about to be over with. We got a bonus show coming up. Overtime is what?
It's the traveling part of the Mystery Fifth Hour, where you guys traveling stories.
Mystery Fifth Hour traveling stories coming up. Don't have to change anything. Don't have to click another link. We do ask you to like and subscribe right there wherever you're watching us today on the video platforms. Bud Light Game Night tonight at Top Golf. We're there 5 to 7. Come on out there, and we'll have a great time. Thanks to everyone who showed up today, including our friends at Hydra Life. Appreciate them so much. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Hey, welcome into another Mystery Fifth Hour.
Jim
Always
Dunaway.
presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. We got great news about McCurry. If you didn't hear it in the last Mystery Fifth Hour, I'm about to tell you. McCurry's growing just like we are. We thank you for joining us. That is number 13, Emily Grace McWhorter. We call her EG for short. You know Jim Dunaway. You know Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour. Give us a thumbs up and make sure you've subscribed to our YouTube channels. McCurry Van and Car Rental. It is the rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from. That includes trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it really easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. They've got locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, also in Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. And I told you they got big news coming soon to Tuscaloosa on Skyland Boulevard. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com.
You know, I never, go ahead.
That's McCurryRentals.com.
I never thought about this, but I guess in the hiring process, that makes Forrester 007. He's number 7.
Is he number 7?
Yeah.
So as we sit here in the lobbies of Disrupt Media, if we ever get rid of the desk in the lobby, I want to get swivel chairs. Like, these are so comfortable. Mm-hmm. I pat myself on the back. I picked these out, by the way. But how comfortable are these swivel chairs?
They are nice. Nice cushion ratio.
Yep.
Smooth, gliding.
You can be a big dude, or you can be small, or you can be as small as you, and it doesn't really matter. It's comfortable all the way around.
Yeah. The problem with that, if you're doing a broadcast, we do a lot of spinning like that.
Is it we're moving too much?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some people would find it hard to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, not me. I mean, you know me.
Like we're going to have them in studio. We need fixed chairs in studio, but just out here, they'd be comfortable.
I mean, I kind of want it in the studio.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to fly right there. You don't sit very still. You're a mover.
I am a mover.
You're a mover in a
I mean, right now,
I know, I can see it.
But
anxious.
just sitting in it one time out here, I thought to myself, in my sports room, I would like that chair. That would be a comfortable watching game chair.
So if one of these chairs disappears, we know who took it.
These are heavy-ass chairs.
Oh, I'm not
They're expensive chairs. Swivel chairs are expensive.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah. These chairs are probably, we know how much that chair is, the wing chair that's out of shot right now. These are probably $1,300 chairs.
Easily.
Yeah.
Really,
For
E.G.?
sure. I've been apartment shopping. So.
Right.
Yeah, I got these at home in downtown Homewood, and I think they were every bit of $1,300. We spent a little bit on furniture.
We did. I remember that. I remember that expenditure.
But if you buy quality furniture, it lasts.
Yes.
That's right. It's still here 2 years later.
That's
Well,
right.
it better be here in 2 more years.
Yeah, we better be.
No red wine on this
Yeah,
furniture.
what's the cost per sit on these, I wonder?
Well, they get used a lot.
Yeah,
now, I will
that's what
say
I'm
that.
wondering.
The furniture out here gets used an awful
Pennies
lot.
on the dollar.
Yeah, because womb chair wasn't out here until recently. Taylor built our entire social media powerhouse in that chair right there. That used to be her chair.
So it's priceless, is what I'm.
Yeah, it's a historic artifact of.
We've
the
made our
next
money
round.
back on it easily, yes.
Yeah.
But to Lance's point, that better go in the next round museum.
Yeah, it needs to be here a decade.
Yeah, it needs to be a good decade.
If we're in this one particular space for a decade, I don't know how.
Yeah, I'm going to say that ain't happening.
Yeah, because I had a visitor
More on that
yesterday.
next July.
Well, I had to explain. I was like, we're really not this cluttered. Like, we're all pretty OCD and we're all pretty neat. And there's just shit everywhere, and it's just because we're out of room.
We have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
We have nowhere to go. We're trapped, Lance. We're trapped.
I mean, really,
This is a cry for help.
Really, we never thought we'd be double-digit employees, and then
I never really envisioned that.
yeah, I thought we'd be a niner forever and ever, and then it was
Really?
10, then it was 11, then it was 12, and then it's freaking 13.
I know.
Yeah, freaking 13.
Lucky number
In
13.
week
I know.
3 for you, which,
3.
I mean, it's been a grind, right?
Yes, and I can't. We were thinking it was week 2 a little bit
Yeah.
ago, but it is in fact week 3.
Wow.
Where does the time go?
Well, you have fit in perfectly.
Oh.
So week 3, that means you've gotten a paycheck.
Yes, I did.
Your first professional paycheck.
You going to the dog track?
It was awesome. It was awesome.
The dog track.
That I used to remember going on Fridays at the 1st and 15th. And
When
it
you were in
was
school in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, flooded.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody bring their paycheck.
Do you remember, E.G. will not remember this, but back when we were in radio, somebody was talking about the green track, the dog track down. Is that the one? Green
It's
track's
in
the one-
Utah.
In Utah.
Yeah.
And
It's
they
about 40 minutes south of Tuscaloosa.
do you remember somebody called in and was like, there was a legendary dog there, and the dog's name was Joe Dump, D-U-M-P.
Dump.
Joe Dump.
Buried at the finish line.
They were like, he's buried at the finish line. He was, and we're like, you are completely
He
screwed.
caught the rabbit.
Because so the old story goes, you go watch the dog that has just used the potty. I don't know why I'm talking like you're a 3-year-old, E.G.
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's a little out of my.
Yeah. You've never been to a dog
I don't
track.
think they run
Comfort
dogs
level.
anymore.
They probably don't, but back when they used,
more knowledge.
when they used to run greyhounds, you would go look at the dog that just took a dump, and you'd be like, he's running on a light load, and apparently that worked when you were betting on the dogs, which sounds awful. I don't want to go watch for. Oh, there's one taking them. You know,
It really didn't work, by
yeah,
the way.
it did not.
No.
So it was just a theory.
was a
so
theory.
we thought this guy was messing with us about this dog named Joe Dump. Right. So the late great Cecil Hurt, pour one out for Cecil Hurt, one of the greatest journalists in state of Alabama history, called into the show. He's like, I know y'all think this guy's messing with me, but he's absolutely telling the truth.
Wow.
And so there was a dog at Green Shack named Joe Dump.
No, I remember because there was when I was a student, there was another dog that they thought was approaching the greatness of Joe Dump, and it was IMA, and I forgot the second half of the name because it's been 25, 30 years.
IMA is I'm a winner.
It was IMA. It wasn't that. It was something IMA something, but that dog could fly. But I used to enjoy going there. They had dollar beer night. We'd blow all our money there.
I think the genesis of the conversation was us asking, do you think a dog's ever caught the rabbit? And this guy called and it's like, oh yeah, Joe Dump caught the rabbit, because they'd have a rabbit on a stick.
And then it.
Well, it's not a real rabbit.
Oh. I
But
did not
it's
know
on an
that.
arm.
It's on an arm, but the dogs
are
chase it
trained
thinking
to
it's a
chase
real
it.
Yeah,
rabbit.
and I think it would be more interesting if it was real
I
rabbit.
thought it was
agree.
a real rabbit.
Yeah, no. It's just a rabbit on a stick, and it goes around the track, and the dogs chase it. That's how they get the dogs.
Yeah,
to
I
run
think
around the
what
track.
they should do is get Belgian Malinois and have convicts run and get the dogs to chase them.
Lance. That's another thing, E.G., you'll learn about Lance. He's got a lot of ideas of what we do with
Yes.
the incarcerated.
I heard some last night.
Yeah,
With the turkeys.
there's always an interesting.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
All right, so number 12, EG's number 13, number 12 came up with a topic for our Mystery Fifth Hour today, presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Traveling with strangers is the topic, traveling with strangers. So we've got a series of questions here about traveling, and let's start with this one. I know these two, I don't know if it's nightmare, but they have experience of this, a ride-sharing experience. The question is, have you ever had a nightmare ride-sharing experience? EG, we'll start with you. You have not heard their ride-sharing stories, I don't think.
Off the top of my head, no.
No?
They've been pretty run-of-the-mill. Not bad at all.
See, I don't even know why I'm in this conversation. I don't think I've ever traveled with strangers, ever.
Dude, you've told the story before about your ride sharing.
But the ride share, I mean, it was back from our honeymoon. So it's been 25 years now. We got delayed because of medical emergency flying back from Jamaica. And by the time we made it to Atlanta, the connecting flight from Atlanta to Birmingham, we had missed it. So we were supposed to just hang out at the hotel, at the airport, or find our own hotel. Nobody was putting us up. And being just an hour and 50 minutes away, we decided to get a rent-a-car. But a lot of people, there was one left in the long line that was there. And the couple behind us, who also were coming back from their honeymoon, the Davises.
Oh, you told me this story.
Yeah, absolutely. We got one, I think it was a Cadillac. It was a four-door something, a huge car. And we let them ride with us. And, 15 years later, I ran into him in line at Taziki's. And she was like, "You probably don't remember me, but we rode back with you from our honeymoon." And I was like, "Oh, I remember you." And so we caught up with the kids, and I've followed them ever since on social media and keep up with their kids and everything, and all that with a ride share. Coming back because of some guy had a heart attack over Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
See, I thought y'all
How'd that
meant,
guy turn out?
I don't know. They pulled him off on a stretcher.
Hey.
I thought y'all meant like a bad Uber. I didn't
Well, it could
realize-
be anything.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever had a ride share where I've been in a car.
But you know what? I don't think I have either.
But you don't Uber by yourself, do you?
No, that's what I'm never.
Ever.
I'm never about. I'm scared of my own shadow a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Like I was trying to think of like even a shuttle bus or something like that, and I really can't even think of one because
Yes.
I'm like you. I've never shared an Uber or a taxi with anybody.
So we had a client. I called him 54. Do you remember?
54.
So I didn't know him well, the steakhouse guy. And we went up to Boston. So I had a fraternity brother of mine. We were having his bachelor party in Boston, and he ended up not showing. I don't know if his soon-to-be bride got cold feet, didn't want him to go.
So the bachelor didn't show up for his own bachelor party?
But you know I was going.
Yeah, well,
You
we
guys
paid
went
for
without the Bachelor.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to throw him a
So
party.
now it's just a party.
Yeah. So I went up with this dude that was one of our ex-clients, but I really didn't know him. And the whole sole purpose is I had a buddy that was playing for the A's then, and they were playing the Red Sox. We had tickets, and I had never been to Fenway. So I take this client with me because he wants to have a meeting with Eric Chavez, who was a really good third baseman. And so I set up the meeting. We have a lunch, and him and I go out that night. And the first thing we did, we went to a Bank of America, and he withdrew $1,000 cash. And he's like, "We're partying on this tonight." And I'm like, okay. So he's probably my age then, and I'm in my 20s. And we went out and drank so much, and he blacked out and made the biggest fool of himself. Like was starting fights, was like just couldn't make sentences, was falling all over the place. So I ducked out on his ass. And the next day, I saw him. He sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, we're going to get lunch." He's like, "What happened last night?" I was like, "Dude, I think you went to bed. I saw you get a cab." But I mean, he was a complete train wreck. I tried to hang with him as long as I could because he had the money.
Yeah. Naturally.
But then he completely fell apart.
So he was a client?
He was, for a little bit.
Okay.
I think was is a
And thank
keyword
God.
So it wasn't Mondelli?
It was no.
Okay.
And thank God. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know the guy. I had met him a couple of times, and we ended up traveling together. And boy, he was a damn mess.
But I'm like you. I've never I've never been tempted to share a cab or an Uber. That's
No.
going to be something I'm just going to.
But I've got the Dunaway story too. We came back from Jamaica. We had a huge delay in Memphis. We get over Birmingham, and the runway lights somehow had been cut, so they have to fly us to Atlanta. We land in Atlanta. The crew had worked too much overtime or whatever, so they walked. We didn't have a flight back to Birmingham, so we had to get a rental. Rentals ran out. We shared a rental with some chick. I slept in the back. My wife then rode shotgun, kept her awake, and yeah.
I slept in the back. Well, we're back. All right.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, and then and not to make this all about myself, but it seems like you guys ain't got a lot of stories. But I did my favorite summer ever was 1995 when I did play-by-play in the Jayhawk League. It was Woodbat League, Scout League. And I got there at the end of May. I'd just gotten out of school, and it was an excuse to go back for a 6th year at Alabama. I was like, I've got to do this internship, and I can't do it if I'm not a student. So parents agreed. End up showing up in Elkhart, Kansas. We had a meet and greet the next day. We got on a bus and headed to Hays, Kansas. So I didn't know any of these guys, and I would go around to everybody and just ask them questions where I'd have stuff to talk about, like this dude was a all-state quarterback, or, this guy has got a little brother that's missing a leg, whatever. Just have little things. I'm just throwing that out there. But the first trip, I ended up having to share a room with the bus driver, who was like 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was just so awkward. And then from then on, I got to know the guys, and it was like I started, hanging out with those guys. But it was awkward.
Well, I will tell you, back in one of the Caribbean islands, for our 5-year anniversary, we end up at an all-inclusive, and I bump into a girl I dated for 3 or 4 months.
Were you naked? Was it a nude beach?
No. But
you heard his nude beach story?
We were in swimwear.
I think I want to know that one.
And then
it's actually really good.
But then I end up meeting her husband. They'd got married since then. They may have been on their honeymoon then, and he and I end up hitting it off. But she was pretty beat up when we stopped seeing each other. So that was sort of the first time I'd seen her since the breakup. And,
Jimmy Heartbreak?
Yeah.
The Heartbreak Kid.
And then I remember, he's a big Alabama fan too. I remember me and him sitting in a hot tub smoking cigars, and Maggie and her over there griping about how good of buddies we'd become because we were both shit-faced drunk. And we're sitting in hot tubs in Jamaica smoking cigars and talking Alabama football.
What is the Travis Tritt song, 10 feet and bulletproof?
Yeah.
I'll get like that a little bit. You guys have seen me. If I have a couple of cocktails.
I've seen that, Lance, yeah.
But I remember one night I was at the old music hall. It was a Thursday night. It was Thanksgiving night. Thanksgiving night's a big night for the kids to go out when I was a kid, because everybody wants to get away from the parents, and there's a lot of people out. So I was out, and I met these 2 girls, and I ended up going back because we went to watch the movie Friday at their place. Well, at the end of the night, they're both out cold, and so I needed a ride home. I didn't have a ride. I couldn't get a cab. This is before Ubers. So I walk, I listen, and I hear like a highway, and I walk. It's over in Hoover somewhere, and I get to a BP gas station, and I ended up paying a dude $20 to take me home. Didn't know the dude. It was like 4 in the morning.
Man.
That's like early Uber. Yeah. You could have invented Uber back then.
Oh, I could have been dismembered back then.
Yeah, sure could have been a lot of things.
Lance had a habit for a brief period when we first started the show, when we'd get into either taxis or ride shares with Ubers or Lyfts, that he would want to. One time was he just asked the guy, it was an Uber driver, "Hey, I won't kill you, but can I choke you out real quick?
Yeah.
Can I choke you out?
How much would I have to pay you?
Well, how much do I have to pay you if you let me choke you out?"
He's kidding, of course.
Yeah,
but
it's just me playing around.
Sometimes the cab drivers aren't aware of that, and Lance likes. He likes,
especially if they're not from our country.
Yeah, he likes to negotiate with them. Yes. Will you tell her real quick and our listeners the time? Did you have a steering wheel or something?
No, we were. So me and Rocky had gone over to see the Titans. So when Chris Johnson was running all over the NFL, and it was a meaningless game for the Rams. I'll never forget a quarterback named Keith Knoll started for the Rams, and this is in the 2000s, mid-2000s.
Keith Knoll?
Keith Knoll.
Where did he play college football?
N-U-L-L. He played at like West Texas State or something.
Wow.
But he started, and we got run off the field like 45-0, and it was freezing cold in Nashville.
Yeah.
But we met up with our buddy Clay Travis, and we walked from Midtown to downtown to Broadway, and it got so cold we finally saw a cab. We flagged him down. We got in the cab. and for whatever reason, the headrest that they pull out, I bought the headrest off of him and I took it out with me. I have no idea why to this day.
He took the headrest with
Out
him.
of-
Out of the guy's car.
Where'd you put it after? Is it like on display in your house?
No, I mean, I carried it around to the bars and then I just left it. Yeah.
It wasn't really
It was
worth
a-
what he paid for.
it was a
as turned
prop
out.
for the night.
Yeah. Worst
I
flight
love
you
that.
have been on. Worst flight you've been on. I'll start this one. We were in, when you go skiing in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, you can fly into Hayden, Colorado. And it's surrounded by all these mountain peaks. So literally, like when they fly in, they have to slam the plane down, basically. And they have to do the slingshot to take off because of the mountain ranges, right? So we're flying through Minneapolis. We had a layover in Minneapolis, and we're sitting on the runway, and the pilot comes on and is like, ladies and gentlemen, there's some severe weather that's ahead of us. We're going to try to delay just a little bit to let it get out past Minneapolis by the time we get there. So, we're going to sit here on the runway for a minute. So then we sit on the runway, and he goes, all right, after about 20 minutes, he goes, all right, we're going to go ahead and take off. I was like, 20 minutes didn't seem like we waited a whole lot of time there. That factors into the story. So then they do the slingshot. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where they rev the engines, the brakes are locked, and then they let it go and you do that right there. So we take off, great flight. We start, when you fly into storms, it's just, it builds and builds and builds. By the time we're in Minneapolis, lightning's popping left and right. The plane kept losing it.
Were you nervous?
Huh? A little bit. I mean, the weird thing was, we were on a flight with a couple who had been on a flight before where they said their final goodbyes to one another.
Wow.
We knew this couple we were traveling with. They had said their final goodbyes to one another. That's how bad that flight was. They thought they were gone. And they were on this one again. So I'm kind of looking at them like, if they're not nervous, they've actually lived this. So, if they're not panicked, maybe I shouldn't panic. But I'm telling you, man, it was doing like this and it kept losing it. I think they call losing its air where it keeps bottoming out like that.
Hitting air pockets.
Yeah, and finally he gets it so close to the runway, he just slams it down. And when he did, everybody clapped. Yeah. And he came out of the cockpit too to get his thank yous. He was standing there, everybody's like, man, thank you, great. Oh, no big deal. No big
Photo
deal.
op right now.
Yeah, no.
$5 a head.
Ooh, that was a rough one.
For me, I was coming back from, this would have been 1992. I'm EG's age in the business. And Samford had made it to Youngstown State semifinals of the FCS, Division I AA back then. And to show you how far it's come, the semifinal game was not on ESPN or anything. We carried it locally on NBC 13.
Wow.
And so Ken Lass and I did play-by-play and analysts of the game. So we fly up with the Samford team and we're broadcasting it back to Birmingham. And then after the game, we're flying out. And they let us know that we'd be flying. It was snowing and cold in Youngstown, Ohio in December, that we would be flying out in a thunder snow, which is a thunderstorm of snow.
Were you already nervous?
Well, yeah, I'm nervous when I fly anyway, but I was like, first of all, we're flying in snow and icing over and everything. What's that going to be like? They were having to de-ice the plane.
Yeah, I've had some of the de-ice flights, and you're like, boy, I hope they get this right.
And they're out there, I guess with heaters, whatever they're doing, and de-icing the plane. It's already an overpacked, the whole team and all the traveling party, the broadcast team, the equipment's on one charter plane already. I feel like we're overpacked anyway. I've just seen We Are Marshall, it feels like, or at least I know the story. So I'm sitting there, this is horrible. And we get up and it's snowing and thundering and lightning in a snowstorm. And it was the worst flight we'd ever been on. And it was, and for some of the players, it was their first flight.
Oh, God.
And it was a horrible, horrible flight home. And it's the scariest I've ever been on a flight. And I've been in some bad ones since. My scariest one always is Las Vegas, though, in the heat of summer, flying out when we're taking off, and then halfway on the takeoff, it just dies, and we come to a slow stop. And we just sit there, and nobody says anything. And then the pilot says, we've had a little technical problem. And then as it turns out, one of the flight attendants tells us later on, or maybe it was the co-pilot, that if that had happened like 45 seconds later and we'd been in flight, we'd have been to the desert, we'd have crashed. That they lost all electronics in the front cockpit. So that's the scariest one. But as far as with strangers, the Samford football team in a thunder snow, whatever they call it, that was my scariest in-flight.
Do you have a scary in-flight?
Yes. Well, so I don't mind turbulence. Unpopular opinion. I kind of like it.
Do you like roller coasters too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
But I like I like the motion of the
Okay.
ooh, like your stomach kind of drops a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that.
Makes you feel alive.
Yeah, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay. But mine is not turbulence related. This was my flight back from Europe, so in June. And to build the story up, I got so sick in Rome, like sickest I've ever been in my life.
Was it food poisoning?
No, I don't know what it was. I thought I was going to die in Rome and not make it back to my family. I, of course, did not tell my mom or anyone how bad I actually was feeling because I just need to get home. So I get on the flight, and this is the connecting flight from Rome to Paris. And I thought that I'd taken too much NyQuil because I couldn't wake up. I felt like a zombie. It was the weirdest feeling. But anyways, we get on the transfer, we're there, and I'm running a fever, and my fever keeps breaking. And finally, we get on the flight from Paris to Atlanta. And I'm feeling ill, just terrible. And I get a window seat, and I'm next to this couple, and I'm 99% sure that they're coming back from their honeymoon.
Okay.
So I am up against the window, like my cheek is on the glass or the plastic of the window, dying. I have like snot coming out of my face. Like it is so bad. I'm blowing my nose every 10 seconds. And I'm clearly this couple is trying to enjoy their last like moments of bliss next to me, who's like looks like death warmed over.
You know this is part of their story forever
Right,
now.
I
Coming
know.
home from our honeymoon.
Yes. And so
and they're fairly young too, right?
Yes. And the husband was in the middle, and the wife was on the end, and I don't want to get near. It's just awkward because, do you say anything like, "Hey guys, hope you enjoyed your honeymoon. I'm ill," and so I got up one time. It's I think an 11-hour flight. I got up once because I didn't want to disturb them, and I was sleeping in 20-minute increments. So I'd wake up, and at the 7-hour mark, I was like, "Someone is pranking me. I have been on this flight for 24 hours. Get me off." Touchdown in Atlanta, I stepped foot in the international section, and it was my body like rejuvenated, and I was completely fine that night.
Really?
My body was rejecting Europe. That's what we said.
Rejecting
Europe, but I got home and it was fine. But that flight,
So could you have stayed in Europe another day or no?
no, I could. It was awful, and I wanted to be a flight attendant for a little bit. So before I got this job, I was like, well,
Really?
yeah, I was like, I could be a flight attendant.
So
After
if Brown and Reed had not hired you,
where would I be?
would you be a flight attendant?
Should be
right now?
somewhere over the
Well,
air on a Southwest air flight right now.
Not after that flight. I got home and I said I will never be a flight attendant because of how miserable I was.
Well, and what I did to a flight attendant one time, and that's a bad way to start a
Wow.
No.
All right, let's
So
hear the rest of that.
I used to fly Southwest a lot, and I went to visit my buddy in LA, and this is years ago. And I had some really interesting encounters on Southwest because it was general admission. And whether I would eyeball somebody that I wanted to sit next to or somebody would eyeball me that they wanted to sit next to me, I was in line and I met these two girls that were going on spring break. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story. They were coming from Sacramento, so they flew Sacramento to LA, and they were going LA to New Orleans. And then I was going LA to New Orleans to Birmingham. They were getting off in New Orleans to go on a cruise. So we start talking when we're boarding, and we end up sitting together, me and the two girls. And I've got a bunch of drink tickets because back then I had a Visa Southwest, and they would send a bunch of drink tickets. Yeah. And so I start getting us, because they had the airplane bottles, the minis of Cuervo. And so we start doing Cuervo after Cuervo after Cuervo. And this is like from LA to New Orleans it's probably a 4-hour flight. We start descending, and this one girl pukes. It's a completely packed flight. Pukes all over the side of the plane. Yeah, and so the flight attendant's coming back. She's like getting her bags because it's like explosive puke.
Oh,
it won't
wow,
stop.
Lance.
Oh.
Yeah, and so everybody in the plane's freaking out.
Oh,
We're
I would
descending.
imagine. I would be throwing
and
up at that
everybody's
point, yes.
everybody's pissed at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What did I do?
she can't handle her liquor. It's not me. But they put the tray down, and we're going down. She puts her head in her throw up. She's got shit in her hair, corn and stuff.
Nobody needs to hear this, Lance.
No. So the funny thing is, after we deplane, the poor flight attendants have to clean all this up. And I'm walking through trying to find where my connector is, and I'm looking, and her buddy is like, got her like she's blown an ACL, limping her off the field. And my only thought
Kellen
is,
Winslow. Great game, Kellen.
hey, my only thought is, Their spring break just started. They're about to get on.
Yeah.
They're about to get on a Carnival cruise ship.
This was day one.
Yeah. They met the wrong guy flying out.
Boy, did they. Speaking of cruises, thumbs up, thumbs down on a cruise. You're a mid-thumb?
Yeah, I mean, I've
thumbs
gone
down,
on
thumbs
two.
down.
I've had a great experience and a bad experience.
Yeah, I've gone Carnival. And
That's all I've done. So it's been cheesy, but
it was not great. I've done Disney with the kids, and it was fun. I had a good time with that one.
Yeah, I think my brother took his family on a Disney cruise and said it was really good.
I had a good time
I'd be
with the
surprised
Disney.
at that.
Did not.
dude, how much would a Disney cruise cost?
was
you
hefty.
step foot in park, you're already broke.
Oh, I know. The park itself's crazy.
That was 2 full-time job, Jim, back in the day. When he would let's go on a
Why
cruise.
are you mid-thumb on cruises,
Well,
EG?
do you guys? This will relate. Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys know that.
Yeah.
So me and my brother went through a phase of like loving Duck Dynasty.
Seriously.
Seriously, like Sadie Robertson.
Yeah.
She was
Right.
like.
Yeah, she went on the speaking tour for a little bit. Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's
Did
awesome.
she marry that baseball dude?
No, that's her sister-in-law actually.
Oh, okay.
Married.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, she speaks now at
Yeah.
the churches.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
She
love
did,
her. Like
yeah.
she is
Yeah.
my role model. And we've also been, she's my celebrity lookalike, I've been told.
Oh,
We've been
really?
told,
You
yeah.
See, I've only seen the show once or twice. I just remember the dudes with the long
A little
hair.
bit. You do have a little bit. Yeah.
So anyways, we went on a Duck Commander cruise.
EG.
Really?
The crowd on the Duck Commander crew has to be.
I'm
something
surprised
else.
you haven't done this then.
No, but it gets better. It gets better.
Was there any camouflage?
I'm about to show you guys a picture.
All right.
Was there a
So,
camouflage swimsuit?
so just wait.
No.
The kicker is one,
American flags.
I'm in middle school, okay, and one of my brothers, we were with our grandmas because our grandmas would take us on a cruise or a trip for our 16th birthday.
Oh, okay.
You said this plural.
Yeah, grandmas, both of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So for
They
a
team up
16th
together?
Yeah,
They were such good friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for a 16th birthday, that was what they gave
Yeah.
all the grandkids.
Yes.
Was you get to pick a trip.
Just our sect of
Yeah.
grandkids.
Okay,
'cause
gotcha.
We're awesome.
Okay, I don't want to.
So my oldest brother, he went to on this like Royal Caribbean. They actually were giving him like mimosas left and right. Didn't think there was champagne in it. Awesome, great time. So then when Jake turned 16, as the youngest, I was like, all right, well I'm getting 2 out of this. I want to go with Jake. And
Yeah.
then when I turned
Gotcha.
16, yeah.
So you doubled down.
Exactly. Me and Jake decided collectively we're going to go on the Duck Commander cruise, and we
Right.
made our grandmas take us on the cruise. And would I go on another cruise? Probably not. Would I go on another Duck Commander cruise? Yeah.
You would?
I would.
Really?
Oh my God.
So it wasn't that bad?
No, it was not that bad.
And they were on the cruise with you?
Yes, on
all
the
the
cruise.
Duck Commander people.
All of them.
Well, they
this-
made a fortune off that.
That was the most fun about a cruise. I know you're pulling those pictures. Was back to strangers meeting like the most random people on a
Right.
cruise.
So there's me and Sadie. I'm in a camouflage now.
You're with Sadie?
I'm with Sadie.
Oh.
Now, do you guys see me in camouflage? No. I'm not a camo girl.
Well, you grew up in Georgia,
I did.
though. I could see it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what about like
Wait a second,
fashionable
that's you on
camo?
the-
Like,
Yes.
That's
like
you on the
Brown's
left?
got fashionable camo
Yeah, I'm
Dior
wearing
shorts.
these
on.
are, it's like urban camo shorts
This
right
is
here.
real tree monogrammed
Yeah.
in orange.
Monogrammed camo.
Monogrammed
There's nothing.
camouflage for the occasion. Me and
I
Sadie
mean,
Robertson.
you look different with that color hair.
I know, my hair's really dark. My hair used to be really dark.
Yeah, y'all do look a lot alike.
Yeah.
though.
You do
there's
with dark
some- there's
hair,
some
yeah.
similarity there. Yeah. That's wild. So
Yep.
a Duck Commander
Duck
cruise.
Commander cruise, and
So random.
it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I don't-
was
Wait,
it in
so
the-
who's got the camo on?
That's
That's
EG.
me.
That's EG.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you? Like 10?
Probably, no, like 13, 14.
So was that in the Caribbean? Did you guys go in the
Yeah,
Caribbean?
we went to Mexico.
Yeah.
With the grandmas too. That was the best part. Like me, my 16-year-old brother, and both of my grandmas.
Let me
All
see your
of them.
grandma.
Okay. Listen, my grandmas.
So my bad cruise story though. So we went to Cozumel, and I tried to stay at Carlos and Charlie's, and so we were with 3 couples, and they were like, "You can't stay here," and I'm like, "I'm
the
staying
cruise.
here."
What's
I'm,
Carlos and Charlie's?
the one in Cozumel.
Okay.
And I was like,
what is Carlos?
"Oh, Carlos Charlie's is a big party.
Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
big
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
like Senor Frogs."
Right.
And I made friends with all the Hispanic staff, and they're like, "We got a big party tonight. You just stay with us. Fly back to the States." And I'm like, "I'm staying. I'm staying. I'm staying." So they talked me into leaving, but I left with a whistle, a Carlos and Charlie's whistle. And so at dinner that night, and you guys have been on a cruise, everybody's sitting back and doing their 4 or 5 course meal or whatever. I'm blowing the whistle nonstop.
That did not get annoying at all, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I got told a million times. I finally had to leave. But I felt so bad the next day. It was a 3-day cruise. On the 3rd day, I did not have a sip of alcohol. I was basically on the the bow, the front of the boat, whatever that is.
Like Rose and.
I just laid there all day drinking water. I felt terrible, awful.
The whistle was going to come in handy if the boat sank. Could you be like Rose on Titanic?
We actually bottomed out, and we were supposed to go back to New Orleans. We ended up going to Mobile and got off the boat there, and we rented, it was me and 3 couples. We had no other option to get home. We rented some rundown-ass limo, and it took us from Mobile to Birmingham.
Your travels.
It was awful.
Lance could have done this whole thing by himself.
Yeah, but the thing I like about Lance is I feel like if I travel with him, we'll get home.
Well,
he always finds his way back to Birmingham.
A fun story.
Yeah. He always finds his way back to Birmingham somehow. Listen, McCurry Van and Car Rental. If you need a car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry. They are the local rental company you can depend on. They got the trucks, the SUVs, the passenger vans you need. They make it easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. They've got locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and they're in Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. And coming soon, Tuscaloosa, Skyland Boulevard. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour.